Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your cloud, it be raining out.
Dash League Nation, are you ready for this epic Dasher Finals matchup? What's going on? It's your boy Goose in the booth. I got Jaded right next to me, live in person. This is awesome. And we're joined by Not Gollum and Willow in the booth. What's going on, guys? All right. So, let's get going here. Oh, let me fix that in half a second here. It would not be a Dash League match without something. Awesome. So chat, how are we doing today? Are we ready? Are we ready for our opener? Are we ready for our starting lineups? Let's go ahead and do that really quick. So if you guys are ready out there, we're ready to do our lineups. And here we, here we go. Let's go.
Looks like for UNSC, we've got Sandman, Crusader VR, Oogie Boogie, Taser, and Rusty. And for Envy, if you want to take it away.
Yeah, so, and we're restarting. For Envy, we've got Koala, we've got Baron, we've got GTF, we've got Dark Moon, and we've got Venom. You knew that they were going to bring their top lineup.
I mean, how can you not, right?
Oh, yeah. The finals.
This is all the marbles. This is everything that we're working for. Man, these two teams, there's something else, right, guys? Like, these guys have been...
Looks like they are working on.
Oh, it looks like they're getting ready to go at this point, right?
Crusader's saying, come here. Oh,
Okay.
Sandman's giving the finger point.
All right, let's see what they're going to have us do. Dance going on. Love that. Amazing. Well, it looks like these teams are strategizing. Can you guys... Okay, so we're going to be starting off on Launchpad. So can you guys tell us a little bit about Launchpad?
Sure. I mean, first and foremost, before we even get into Nick and Rusty on it, and not expect that these teams are going to have a great shot at being in the finals against each other. And that's exactly what we're seeing today. And Launchpad is seeming like one of the standard picks for payload maps. Like, all of these players in both teams, Sans, I'd say, Baron, are very veteran and have played this map 100 times, and it's just going to be a matter of like how the puzzle pieces between how all these different players on each team interact fall together. Launchpad's kind of a medium distance among the three payloads. It's got some good spots and some bad spots for Racketeers to set up. There's not any extreme advantage or disadvantage for defense or offense like there can be on Canyon or on Abyss even. It's really kind of an interesting neutral start for both these teams to choose and agree on here, and I'm looking forward to how things are going to pan out once we actually get into the map.
Yeah, right, you are there.
I don't know about you guys, but I can't believe this is like the biggest match of season 7. That it's been, what, 5 months since the season started?
Yeah.
So it's been kind of crazy. I personally am looking forward to a slight vacation, but I do know Dash League Season 8 is coming July 16th, I believe. Gollum, you got any words on that?
It's going to be starting over the summer. That's for sure. I'm not sure the exact day off the dome, so I couldn't tell you that. But I mean, it's coming, and we're gonna be getting more kind of more shakeups in the team lineups after that. I would expect, but that's down the road. Like, we are at the here and now. We are at the crossroads where we could have an Envy or UNSC first place victory. UNSC has not won the gold before, but they have been around since season 0 or season 1, and Envy meanwhile has gotten first before, has made it to the top, and in some sense are trying to defend their title here, especially with 2 ex-D players on the roster, or at least previous seasons have played on D on the roster. UNSC going to try and dethrone them here, and clearly are in some good spirits with their dance number that they worked out earlier.
Absolutely. We love seeing that kind of spirit out of these teams.
They're still gesturing to the camera.
Yeah.
Everyone loves the drone. And for those that are new to Hyperdash, if you see a little purple robot flying around, that is a spectator, which is how you can view all the lobbies and see great point of views.
Oh,
that's what we're looking at right now.
Crusader was doing some dances, and then Oogie Boogie just walked right in front of the camera.
He's throwing it back. I also see they have Launchpad queued up. I do believe we do have the maps for today for those that are curious in the chat. If you guys would like to know the maps for today, we do have up first Launchpad with Envy starting on blue. Next up is Waterway with Envy on red. And then for Canyon, we have UNSC on red and Volcano, UNSC on red. So we will go from the watery waves to the fiery pits today. I'm very excited.
I don't believe we've seen Volcano much these playoffs, besides Control.
Well, some people don't want to play us on Volcano, so life removed that from the map pool.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised. No matter which team removed Quarry from the pick list, I'm surprised by that, frankly, and I'm really looking forward to a Volcano between these guys. But here we go, into map 1.
They're up. Let's go. Prepare to start.
All right.
Jumping into the heat. All right, this is exciting. I know that Launchpad used to be, the lesser liked of the major payloads, and now has quickly turned into everybody's fan favorite. I think there's a lot more creativeness that you can get into these Launchpads. Here we're seeing Taser kind of, showing his stuff to the people responding.
Throwing it back.
He's going to pick up this dash exactly at 0 seconds to try to deny the enemy team from picking up that dash for exactly 10 seconds. Just a little bit of resource hogging. He's going to get into a fight with Koala, barely survive it, and then get taken out. Koala always taking every fight he possibly can. Gets taken out by Sandman. Sandman's going to end up pushing around, and he's going to miss a lot of his shots. Over
no.
Hit him.
Man, Envy is off to a pretty strong start, all things considered. Not fully clearing out UNSC throughout this house just yet. The cart has had a little bit of slight stoppage, but not that much, all things considered, as Venom wipes out the last UNSC player alive, trying to disrupt that cart, moves forward, but Oogie Boogie, a good pair of kills there, is going to make a lot of room for his team to try and follow up. As they approach that cart, through the shield room, charging up dash, waited a little bit too long, and Dark Moon punished as Taser goes in for the flank and takes out cart.
Amazing job by the whole team there. You could see on the little mini window watching the cart that some of Taser's teammates backed him up, but we see that Taser's going on an absolute spree right here. He is going to get pushed and kill himself just to take out Koala, a worthy trade, I would say. And now we're seeing finally there's going to be a little bit of double stacking to try to make up time, but you know, in my opinion, not enough. They got shut down for quite a lot here in the early parts of the map. Zone 1, as I would call it on a lot of teams I was on. And now here the cart is down again. I know that this seems like not a lot, but this is early on. This is when we should see a ton of control by blue team here. A ton of stacking, a ton of pushing, the cart going down as little as possible. But they're doing a great job, UNSC is, of taking it down every few little second they can. Because every second early in the map is worth 10 seconds at the late map. And now we see that we're at almost 4 minutes, which 4 minutes league average at the bottom of the hill is where they want to be, and they're only now making it halfway through the hill. If they glaze through this hill, we could see just barely league average, but it looks like we might not see that. GTF trying to get some last minute little cart pushes, but does get taken out. Oh, now we see some double stack. They're barely at the bottom of the hill, probably only 5 seconds behind league average right now.
It's really a matter of, can they keep this start-stopping pattern up at this late point in the map? This is where you really start to see things turn around for Red Team. But if Envy can actually keep this same momentum that they've kept earlier, a little bit slower than average, and keep it all the way to the checkpoint, that's actually great for them. And thus far, they've had a little bit of kind of a rocky amount of focus on the objective, on pushing the cart consistently, but they have been really keeping up with clearing any disruptors around the cart. Not a lot of red players have managed to get far back behind, and that is a good thing for blue, and a reason that they're making it through this SMG with 3 minutes left. That is actually a pretty decent pace. Even though they've lost some focus on that objective, on that consistency, they are well on their way to making through checkpoint if they can keep this up and keep taking down those rockets like Koala was trying to, and Oogie Boogie managed to stop.
Absolutely. Taking out those rockets is key at this point of the map. Absolutely key. This cart cannot do anything as long as those rockets stay alive, and it looks like Darkmoon is doing a good job of trying to push up and take them out. I can't tell if he did take out the rockets, but I think he did, judging by the fact that there is no tomahawking going on in this cart. Oh, there is a rocket now. I think their Rocketeer just respawned. So even though Moon did a good job of taking out the rocket, it seems like Moon's team did an even better job of taking out the rest of that team.
Of Envy, yes.
Of Envy. I'm sorry, UNSC did a good job of taking out the rest of Moon's team, that is. Now we see Oogie Boogie doing a good job hopping on and off the cart, but does get taken out by Venom. Venom's going to get a little micro push in there. Sandman does a little of, map high ground on him. Now this is where they have a few seconds of breathing room, and I would have liked to see UNSC take a bit more space here. Taser is trying to follow it up, but it looks like he gets lost as Envy pushes up around him because he was just a little late to the party. Now we're going to see Envy have a really good push here, taking advantage of that lack of map control by UNSC. It looks like Cart is moving a little bit here, but unfortunately they were not able to take out those rockets, and Crusader, a league-known Rocketeer, is doing an amazing job of shutting that cart down. However, 2 minutes left with Cart this close to checkpoint is rough for UNSC. It's going to be very, very hard for them to prevent a checkpoint. I think Envy is looking very good to steal a checkpoint here.
I like what UNSC was doing just now with, I think it's Taser, who has the shield on the cart. Taser already a very accurate player, so being able to make use of headshots with just one pistol and live out your life for a greatly extended amount of time because of that shield is fantastic, but I would have liked to see that way earlier. I think that could end up being UNSC's downfall and not holding Envy at checkpoint here because they were not stacking cart early enough. That seems to be a struggle with even very experienced teams, is who do you have stacking the cart? if you want rockets to truly be useful and really prevent micro pushes like Envy was able to get up until this 1 minute mark, you need to have people dedicated to stacking on the cart earlier than this even. And UNSC finally getting it done. We can see, nice rockets by Crusader, meaning this cart has not moved an inch since UNSC started stacking. But who do you dedicate to doing that? It looks like UNSC has Taser mostly on the case, but once Envy adapts,
here we go,
able to move through.
Here we go,
and get a
That's
checkpoint.
a checkpoint with 40 seconds left.
Let's go. Very nice.
That was insane play by both teams there. UNSC holding that close to checkpoint for 1 minute and 30 seconds, almost absolutely insane, but a great final push by Envy. Very often you see these teams, they see there's 30 seconds left and they go, we gotta lock in, we gotta get in here, and that's the best you'll ever see a team play. And Envy absolutely put their game face on and got a great checkpoint there. Now we're seeing a tiny bit of double stacking here. I like this. They're leapfrogging cart. They're getting on cart, stacking it for 3 seconds, getting a dash, and then hopping forward to go and try to get kills. That's a great way to make sure your cart is double stacked and that your forward momentum is maintained. We are seeing UNSC do a good job of actually getting up here behind cart. It is a lot harder to hold this area than it is at the very beginning of the map, like we talked about earlier. We're going to see at the top of this hill is where UNSC is going to really be able to get their hold going down. But I really like Envy's momentum here. They've had someone on cart for almost every single second since they've made checkpoint. Exactly 1 minute has gone on since they passed checkpoint, and now they're at the bottom of this hill, which I believe is a league average type of pace. Great shot there, but now we're seeing Envy start to get a little bit of control, but cart is still moving.
If you had to choose one thing that Envy is and always has been fantastic at, it's that disruption. And clearly they are trying to make use of that in a defensive way, trying to disrupt, to take space so that UNSC can't skip past that cart. And thus far, while the spawn advantage has been to their advantage, they've been able to do that very well. Tons of team fights have gone in Envy's favor. A lot of 2v1s and even 1v1s where Envy is winning because they're playing the way that they do best, and UNSC is not able to adapt. But as soon as the spawn advantage starts to change back to UNSC's favor, good double kills like that out of Sandman can actually work to the detriment of Envy over disrupting. Venom was caught from behind by Sandman, managing to sneak past that dangerous front line, and now with UNSC able to set up and possibly some rockets able to get up in the back line, now it's going to be a struggle for Envy to try and break this hold because they really have to coordinate as a team, which is something that UNSC is and always has been very good at. Not that either of these teams are bad at either of these things, but if you're going to highlight one for one team and one for another, that's kind of the dynamic that I would bring up here. And thus far, we're seeing that play out. A decent push by Envy, not able to get a ton of movement though because of the way that UNSC was set up, but Baron following up, moving that cart forward.
Great movement for a solo push there. One person coming in and standing on cart. That was exactly what you want to see out of Envy. Now Envy's going to use that momentum to push forward and get the speed that they need. A nice double kill by GTF. GTF is going to be able to get on this cart. Now he's going to focus these rockets. If he can, he gets taken out by the rockets. That's unfortunate. These rockets being up is going to be a huge detriment to Envy. But he is super low, probably 1 or 2 shot right now, and cart is moving, and he gets taken out by an amazing flank by Moon there. Moon now pushing up while cart is down. Not what you'd usually see out of a D member, gets taken out by Taser, and cart has been down this entire time. So they got the rockets, which was extremely important, but cart has been down this whole time. So now we're seeing UNSC starting to get a little bit of their control back, but I have a feeling Envy is going to break it here any second. UNSC is just trying to buy some time until they can get a proper setup. Taser getting a nasty flank and a good kill on Venom. Now he's going to flank the push that Envy had. This could be enough to kill their entire push. Cart is moving, not quite enough. Now we see a nice double stack going on. Single stack as Koala holds the high ground. You never want to give Koala that high ground if you're UNSC. Now we're seeing some great movement going on here. UNSC is really going to struggle to take this out.
The follow-up by Envy after losing a setup is by far their downfall. If Envy can keep the momentum up and keep a bunch of fights as 1v1s or team fights, as long as the numbers are even, they're going to do great. As soon as UNSC starts to set up, that's when things get dangerous. But UNSC also has not been fantastic at cart stacking. They've been pretty good at getting a setup and trying to set up a forward shield just a little bit ahead of where the cart is and where the rockets want to be, and that's what we're starting to see out of UNSC here, locking down the faster routes to get to cart. But clearly Envy has had a lot of breathing room to group up, and now they're starting to rush forward, and that is where they do best. multiple Envy players flying forward down this main rail. Just a wall of force and bullets tearing things up. The cart just now starting to move once again as Koala hops on after their teammate died. GTF going down to Oogie. Another trade with Baron following up, and now Envy has been wiped off of the objective. UNSC starting to set up once again, but not enough dashes and distance to actually set up where it matters, which is outside of that triangle room in front of Shield and Shotgun.
Yeah, and now we see that exact fight, just what you were talking about, a fight happening right where UNSC wanted to have control, and that's why UNSC needed the control there. But we do see a good follow-up by Crusader here, shutting that cart down. Koala is going to go and chase a kill out the back lines, and he chases it, ultimately achieving nothing with that flank. And now we see that UNSC does have a hold here. Let's see if UNSC can actually use this hold to push forward and get some map control. That's what I want to see out of UNSC. Envy has been doing a great job of abusing the fact that UNSC is not taking enough control here. We do see Taser with the shotgun in front of cart, which is a good play. I do usually like shotguns here around the cart, easily taking it out, but he's going to end up pushing up anyway. I wish he had pushed up a little sooner, but now Taser is going to try and control this triangle room. And you know the old adage, whoever controls triangle controls Launchpad.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is an important spot, but it looks like it doesn't matter as Moon gets on cart with Koala, the D double stacked, and they do get taken out, but that was a good little micro push. So what we do see is they're stopped at 86.8%. 86% is what you see teams tend to get stalled at. Two teams of equal strength generally will both make it to about 86%. So it doesn't surprise me at all that this is where they start to make it, but this is a great push coming out of Envy here, as now they get the control they want. Koala just needs a dash to get a flank the high ground, the classic Koala spot, the spot named after himself, gets a nice kill, almost gets another, follows up, gets on the cart.
Oh man, that was
so close.
That was a battle of the dances there between Sandman and Koala, dodging and ducking around that cart. I mean, this is why I love VR so much. There's so much movement with the dashing, but also that IRL movement can make a huge difference in survivability here. But Envy, too much time to group up. All of them together, triple stacking this cart in the overtime. Crusader getting all important kills on that objective, does stop the cart just before it turns that corner, and they get a shield from red team spawn. We are now going to switch sides.
Yeah, and that turning that corner is so important. That's the shield the card protects from red respawn. So if UNSC make it just I mean a microsecond more, then that card's going to be turned towards the red team spawn, and UNSC will have a chance to get a good lead off where and they made it. However, Envy did make it past that 86% mark. They made it all the way to 88, probably 88 point something that we can't even see. So this is going to be hard. 88.9, yeah, this is going to be hard for UNSC to do. They're going to have to really lock in for this one, especially with Moon's rockets here ready to spawn trap them out the jump. Doesn't get the kill, but does avoid getting killed. The movement.
He's alive?
Wow.
Okay, he goes down to Oogie. Oogie double kills there. He's on a 4 kill streak.
Wow.
He's going for 5. Okay, Baron does take him out, but Oogie cleaning house. Now Envy is going to have very few dashes to try and get control of this shield room, and does get punished by the respawning UNSC players. I think the big question here is, can UNSC match Envy's pace from the bottom of the hill? Envy a little bit slow getting to the bottom of the hill, but they kept that consistency to a surprising degree and actually made it up to the checkpoint with tons of time remaining until UNSC started cart stacking. Can UNSC beat that consistency in different points of the map, and maybe they get stalled out later but are more consistent leading up to and down the hill? Or are they going to actually stay on a very similar pace and make it through checkpoint faster? Is Envy going to be better about cart stacking? These are all the questions running through my head, running through everybody's head, running through Envy and UNSC's head, as thus far the cart has not stopped hardly at all. Crusader only just now going down for, I think, the second time, maybe the third time so far on this side switch.
Oh, but Rusty hops off.
Oh no! They lost a couple seconds there, trying to make it up. I do like that Rusty turned around, but that loss of focus there, with Rusty having to turn around, mean Dark Moon did get to wipe the cart, and now Rusty has to ride it. Does not have the option of jumping off and letting another player jump off.
Baron doing a good job of taking advantage of that, pushing up as well. See, now we're so UNSC had a much better job of double stacking and keeping cart consistently held at the beginning, but now that they're making it through the bend here, Envy's doing a much better job of shutting down the cart here, focusing the cart instead of just focusing these random kills. A great double headshot by Oogie Boogie there. Now we're going to see a double stack coming out of UNSC here, but they both hop off of cart. We're seeing so much focus on these kills right now, which in a game like this, these are some of the top killers in the entire game, in the entire history of the entire game. So I cannot say I blame them for focusing those kills so much. We finally see Rockets getting up here. But, you know, I really would like to see this cart moving a little bit more. UNSC, Envy's doing a double stack coming on here. Now just a single stack.
Whoa,
a
good
kill on
chase.
Venom. Oogie Boogie's doing an amazing job of shutting down Envy here as his teammates ride this cart. But now all of his teammates hopping off. I see 3 UNSC around cart. Cart's not moving.
Rockets
Get
are
on
back
that
up.
thing.
What are these guys doing? They're all watching.
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
Rockets get enough to kill there. The cart moving little by little. They are slightly faster paced than Envy was, but very, very defensive. I think Envy has been great at the attack. UNSC defense for sure. They are making a better pace now. Clearly, something in that strategy is working, but I was worried there. And this single rocket, single shield out of GTF is a very unique strategy. Usually, you see Rocketeers way in the back line, just trying to live GTF, getting shot at. Did not even look at that player as they went down to Koala. Koala now trying to set up a front line, but UNSC just about grouped up, ready to push onto the cart, is getting moving. I think GTF has gone down. Now that's 2 players dead for Envy. Oogie dies on the cart, 3 down for Envy. GTF up with the Rockets.
UNSC wins the 1v1, but barely gets taken out. Oh my gosh, this is so close. If you remember, Envy had 1 minute 30 seconds at this exact moment. So right now, UNSC is a whole minute ahead of Envy, but that does not mean that there's not chance for them to fumble it.
We saw that in the pre-checkpoint when UNSC held Envy for an entire minute at this exact spot. And it looks like at this point, Envy is getting in gear to do just that. UNSC might be playing a little bit too desperate and discoordinated. Crusader skipping the fight, escaping with his life, completely ignoring Venom, who is out of dashes and out of options, does go back into defensive mode, but only has 1 teammate up with him. Finally goes down to Sandman, hunting, fishing, diving for those rockets, trying to get them out of position as the rest of his teammates on UNSC follow up, moving the objective. The Rockets still alive. Sandman goes down. A little bit of cart movement got done, but thus far, Envy has done a great job of delaying these last couple seconds, last couple meters. And now the front line of UNSC trying to charge forward, but Envy is ready for this.
Oh, but a micro push.
Taser almost made it.
So
Good Rockets. Oh my god.
Oh, he touches. He
makes it.
checkpoint.
Okay.
That's checkpoint.
That's checkpoint.
Nice.
I think that's 30 seconds ahead of where Envy was, I believe.
I think it's
Maybe
closer to
actually 40
45.
seconds.
Yeah, because
45
they had less than
seconds?
30 seconds coming
Wow.
from checkpoint.
Wow, you're so right. You're so right. Yeah, that an amazing final push by UNSC there. See, what we saw on Envy's side was a lot better job at doing these grouped, like all at once, we're all together. UNSC was a lot better at the consistent, non-stop. Cart was always moving, but right now is where things get serious.
Oogie. Whoa, my god. One more?
He's
okay,
nasty.
No. Taser goes after that one.
He almost got a ace by himself.
Wow.
That was a 4 kill streak right there.
This man is on a prowl.
That's insane.
Goes down to Dark Moon because he had no health, but now Dark Moon is making a swipe at the cart. Does not get the kill, actually. And Rusty going to skip up, try and lock down the triangle, does end up in a team fight unexpectedly. UNSC has kept this movement consistent. Good kill by Koala there, trying to lock down that dash. Gets flanked by Taser, and Taser now riding the cart, double stacking the cart, in fact. Envy has not been picking up that many heavy pickups, and I don't blame them. They've struggled to keep triangle room in their control as UNSC just keeps the pedal to the metal and foot is lead on the gas. They have not relented, not let up. This consistency has been really working out for them, as Envy, I think, is only just now starting to get some semblance of a defensive hold here, and even that may not be very stable.
Oh man. Yeah, I like this push. I like what's happening here. Rusty's taking a bit of space, but does get taken out. Now, Crusader riding this cart, doing a good job. Is going to enter a 1v1, but will ultimately lose it to Venom. I think everybody can relate to that. Right. Venom gets shot in the back by Oogie Boogie, though. Maybe Oogie Boogie can't relate. Now he's going to push up, checks a corner where no one is, and does get taken out. This is a really good hold. Really good hold by Envy here. But remember, UNSC had an equally impressive hold here as Taser now gets a little bit of cart movement. This is the spot in the game where you want to hold the cart as much as
good
possible.
flank by GTF. Taser was looking for him, and GTF still headshot after headshot after headshot. That's four kills in a row where he gets headshots, only just now going down to Taser, who was looking for him, but went down earlier, not enough health to try and take this cart back. Envy does get that hold that they were looking for and is going to try and hold it with their lives, with every ounce of effort that they can give here.
Absolutely. And I think we're actually starting to see that advantage that UNSC had here going into the second half of the map starting to be lost.
Oh my god. 3 Envy players? Wow.
That is insane. Yeah, so I think they're only probably about 10, 15 seconds ahead of where Envy was at this point, and we don't see any UNSC players on this cart. We see Taser finally touching, but he's about to get taken out. Or maybe not? Okay. Koala finally taking him out. That was a long fight on that cart.
That was a lot of good movement by him.
Yes, absolutely. We see a little bit of cart movement going on here, but not as much as I'd like to see. Rusty going absolutely nasty. I think getting a double kill there. Now Cart is getting some nice movement, finally leaving the zone where Envy can hold the best. That top of the hill is where it is one of the best holds that Envy can hope for now at this point until they get to about the 85% mark. Now we're seeing this cart absolutely cruising and schmooving to 78%, less than 10% away to that 86% mark that I was talking about. And exactly 10% away, almost, away from where... Oh, Envy made it! We're seeing some really good cart fights going on here, but Envy's doing a great job of cart focus. I think Envy is finally locked in on really locking in on that cart. I think pre-checkpoint, they were lacking a little bit on on focusing the cart kills over any other kill. Now I'm seeing them really come in and just focus that cart, shut it down, say, no, it's mine. Oogie Boogie, though, says skill diff and gets a little micro push here. Now we see them almost officially make it to 80%.
Yeah, and I think the big difference here also that you were talking about, Envy is taking fights on the cart way more than UNSC was, and that is making a huge difference in trying to delay things here. Like, even just now, Oogie was moving the cart, Koala hopped right on, Oogie getting several crazy kills along with his teammate Taser, but the cart ultimately going down and not a whole lot of movement getting done. Whereas earlier, UNSC, only just now at this point in the map, was seriously considering cart stacking. And that's eaten up a lot of time that UNSC was trying to gain earlier because of that focus on the objective. Envy hasn't even needed to really have any sort of heavy weapons like rockets or shocks or shotguns up because they know they have to dedicate to hopping on that objective, stopping that movement as long as a red player is on it. And that's really going to delay UNSC's focus, who wants to try and split Envy up and win a variety of unfair team fights, whereas Envy, anytime any of them are in a 1v1, even if it's multiple 1v1s in a row, players like Dark Moon, Koala, Venom are going to F you up. Excuse my language, but there's no getting around it. Dark Moon really given a strong performance here as he makes it all the way into UNSC's spawn rail, kill after kill. This man has infinite dashes, finally goes down because he ran out from some sprinting, but lots of time eaten up just because of that. Rusty tries to make it into the backline, not quite made it around that corner. GTF takes him out, wins another fight with Sandman, goes for thirds, taken out by Oogie, who is now riding that card, and no Envy players to speak of except for Dark Moon trying to follow up, but Rusty ready to turn around and take it out. Taser, the final follow-up on the card does get some good movement, but UNSC, even though the momentum is in their favor, is still in a dangerous place. Envy could take back the momentum at any moment, and they have the spawn advantage to do it. UNSC needs to keep control outside of Triangle Room if they want to keep this momentum, and I can see that's what they're doing here, but so far Envy has stayed focused on that objective. We saw as Sandman pushed a cart, he had one player in the garage set up to try and delay, and now this cart movement by 1%. Crusader is doing fantastic job. Good 1%. Headshot by Crusader.
We're so close.
Whoa, 1 minute on the clock. UNSC does get held here, but they are millimeters away. Envy has to have somebody dedicated to that cart. That means one less player on the front line trying to delay. Good kill on Baron. Taser follows up. Still gets taken out by GTF. Envy still holding the cart desperately with every player they can manage to spare. The rest trying to move forward, but this desperation, if it's not controlled and not practiced, works to their disadvantage as players try to overextend. Rusty hops on, still gets stopped as the rest of Envy hops on. 30 seconds left on the clock. Envy still holding.
Come on!
UNSC fishing for kills. 88.7%.
Salmon touches not quite enough as Envy does.
Envy
just need to
still
sneeze
holds
on
the
it.
cart. They are a millimeter away. Envy with the chance to win this first map. The momentum in their favor. UNSC trying to bring out the big guns, literally with heavy weapons. Crusader hops up.
That's it!
UNSC
Whoa!
first
Seconds
map.
on the clock.
10 seconds.
Absolutely insane.
Envy with a great hold, just barely losing it at the last couple seconds here. UNSC takes map 1. What a way to start. Man, I'm out of words. Can you guys go over stats?
Oh my gosh. Okay, start with Oogie Boogie. He did not break the 100 kills that M-Dubs is blazing in the chat, but very, very close at 97.72. Salmon, 81.74. Rusty, 75.68. Taser, 75.70. Crusader, 42.68. For Envy, we've got Koala, top kills, 81.73. Baron, 72.83. Darkmoon, 78.76. Venom, 64.75. And GTF, 54.66.
Wow, absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, that was a good stat read, actually. No mess ups there. I got nothing else to say than I'm impressed. And I mean, what about that match, guys? That was exciting from start to finish, right?
That was the closest
Wow.
down to the 10-second percentile. That was insane.
Speechless. It has left me speechless. So chat. How do we think this Waterway is gonna go? We're going to Waterway next. Let's get
A new poll in the chat, perhaps?
yes.
Let's do it. Yeah, that was.
But yeah.
I am finally going over chat here, and I do see pointed out that Oogie got some insane kills right when they mattered. I can't agree more. I thought Oogie's
100%.
did amazing job of solo clearing cart.
Oh, absolutely. He was going on like regular 4 or 5Ks, which was absolutely insane. And I did like to note he was not on McDonald's Wi-Fi today. Everyone talked about his Wi-Fi, but his Wi-Fi looked pretty good today, and I think that was part of it. Like he was making
He might have
his
gone
shots.
to a Starbucks instead. I hear
Starbucks
they must have
Wi-Fi
done
is
that.
actually fire. Yeah. But no, that was so intense. Both, like, first of all, the checkpoint pushes were excellent by both teams. UNSC, that extra 45 seconds that they had pre-checkpoint was what they needed to have that additional.
Yep.
So the reality was the 30 extra seconds average that they had pre-check is what got them past those choke points. Like you guys were talking about that 86% choke point. That was just absolutely excellent. But both teams equally impressive. That was insane.
Yeah.
So-
If I can say something controversial, that might have been the most exciting finals match we've ever had. I mean, that was. I was on the edge of my seat for that entire.
Fighting words.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and agree
I
with you
don't
there.
know. D versus Acer was pretty fun to watch.
True.
Definitely.
Yeah. We can say that was the closest finals payload we've ever had. How about
I
that?
definitely
That is
agree.
a
Yeah.
fact.
There's definitely
Yeah.
a lot of teams that their advantage is payload versus domination. And so to see both these teams going head to head on the payload map, I think it's really just going to come down to who has better coordination on the domination maps. And throughout the season, domination maps has been the maps that both of these teams have some history of it not being their forte.
Yeah.
So I could be a 3-0 fast sweep. It could be a sudden death. I don't know what to expect for Waterway, honestly. I really think it's just gonna come down to who has better comms and coordination, because they both have proved they have excellent mechanics, killers, experienced vets on their roster.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because it did happen a little bit ago in time, so I'm gonna date this a little bit when it comes back to watching this back as a video, not live stream. But wasn't Domination the map that both of these teams lost in their previous matches with Control and Life, respectively?
Hi.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Because that's an important point here. Both of these teams have the coordination down. They've got the killers. They've got the power. But really, it's that consistency in the follow-up in getting crazy team kills that makes a difference, but that is just not the way that domination plays. Any of the domination, but especially Waterway. Consistency is important to some degree, but really it's about just getting 3 important moments. You don't need to have one extended moment with starts and stops like a payload. You need 3 times for all 3 buttons to be yours, and that is it. Nothing else matters. And clearly both of these teams are playing at the top of their game today, but I think, like you mentioned, they're kind of on similar footing in that respect, that it's not as good for them to be playing Dom as it is payload, and I'm interested to see how the map is going to go as a result of that.
Yeah, I do know, especially with Dash and Dex, we can always spy on all the Dash Leagueans playing. But
Right.
I have seen, UNSC has been practicing a lot this past week. You've seen almost, over half their roster been active, having scrims, practicing those domination maps over and over. And I have not seen as many scrims on Envy's side in a little while. So I am curious if that team play is just, the amount of effort that's put in of playing with those same individuals, repetitively. So I don't know how this is gonna go. I think it's gonna be really close. UNSC and Envy played 2 different times this past season. And I think on the first one, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Envy took the domination versus UNSC, and then the second, was it reversed?
It was actually UNSC won 2-0 maps wise against Envy
they did
the
take
first
the
time.
dom.
And
and then
then
the second
Envy
time.
won 2 maps to 0 the second time.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
So they've
that
each-
just reverse sweep.
Yeah, I do believe both times though the other team did still score 2 points on a Waterway. The first time they played on Waterway, I remember it was 2-2, and then they scored the 3rd point. So it was very close.
Yes, yes, that's right.
So it could go either way. Obviously, as this is best out of 5 maps, it is all single servers. There would only be a single control point if needed, but it's essentially the first 2-3 maps that each of these teams has to win to take home the Dasher Championship. But I think it's gonna be a 2-2 game, and it's gonna go down to the wire.
Absolutely.
Goose, what's your prediction on this?
I always love seeing maps or these types of games go to a control point, and so I agree with you. I think 2-2, and then we're gonna go to a control point, and it'll be a fantastic, crazy control point from that point on.
Oh, it's gonna be brutal. Also, if you guys can't tell, I'm wrapping my Dash League hoodie.
Yes.
It may be 80 degrees outside, and I'm regretting this decision, but it's fine. I don't know about you guys, but the weather is getting hot outside, and that just makes me want to be inside or playing VR games more, you know?
Amen
Absolutely.
to that.
And playing VR games where we end up moving a lot and sweating. Like,
irony.
I agree with you. I'll do it anyways, but I mean,
Hey,
it's
it's how I
of
keep
the
my
games to
six-pack.
play.
Of course.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. But no,
Just real quick. Oh well.
I was gonna say.
I just want to point out.
Yeah.
Okay, you go. You go. No.
I was
you
gonna
win.
say we've got
I'll give it to you.
some new players coming in. So we should probably see our new players.
we have a Jedi stepping in
Yes.
for Envy. It looks like,
Dark Ghost
It's
is
Dark
new.
Ghost.
Yeah, Dark
Baron
Ghost.
Yes.
hopped out for Jedi, and then Dark Ghost
Correct.
hopped in for UNSC,
Yeah.
and they subbed
For
out
Crusader.
Crusader, that is correct.
Yeah.
That is typical for their domination lineups. Typically, it is Jedi that subs in for Envy, and then Dark Ghost. I don't know how he does it. He just like the game starts and he's already in your base. It's insane.
Yeah.
He's got his strats down pat.
Oh, it's absolutely insane. And then Jedi, even though he's playing on, Australian ping, like he's still an absolute fighting machine. So,
Yeah.
solid choices for
It-
their domination. Good button players.
Yeah.
I am surprised they took
very
Baron
good
out, though.
About getting in your face. Yeah, that surprised me too. Baron had a pretty solid performance on the last map, so I'm sure Envy's cooking up something.
Yeah, hey, it could just be a charge break to bring him in for the next one.
True.
Yeah, you definitely have to consider that here in the finals, where there's a lot more
Absolutely.
maps to be had. So
Or have 3
Quest players
packs.
suffer a little. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I always discourage people from like buying things to try to get better at the game, but I am like a battery pack. That's the one pay to win item. Like you gotta
and
have
grips for controllers.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, my hands
Especially
get
if
so
you're
sweaty.
a taller person. Yeah, or you're worried about the sweat. Those are really gonna help.
Yeah, Goose only hit my
controllers-
ceiling lamp
Yeah.
once earlier. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but today was also the Walker finals earlier today. Are we allowed to release the
We got
results?
24 hours. We can't talk about the
Okay,
results, but
Well,
As-
go
as
watch
exciting
it.
as that would
Goose
be.
played in it.
I
so
did.
You guys better go watch that.
I
Also
played
like
one
that
map.
stream.
It was fantastic.
He was there. He was there. So make sure for all of you that love Goose, make sure you go show that support on that stream as well. Also, starting in about 15 minutes, we also have Sprinter Finals, 12 a.m. versus Iron. So if we are in between maps, but majority obviously watch the stream, but in between maps, or obviously if you have multiple devices, definitely go show up for 12 a.m. in Iron and give them a cheer as well.
yeah, those are 2 great teams that I've loved watching. They definitely deserve the love. Just unlucky enough to schedule during all the
Everyone's
finals at the same
scheduled the
time.
same day! But
I know.
yeah,
It's just the time to do it.
Hey, honestly, if Laz wasn't playing, I would have wanted him to commentate it.
True. Yeah, he's a great commentator.
Yeah, I'm sure some of you have heard him throughout the season.
And also good at hopping into the live chat too. When he
yeah.
should be warming up, wagging
Or
my finger
blowing
at
up
him
my
right now.
DMs.
Right. So one thing that I wanted to point out is something that you said earlier, Jaded, which is about the practice for Envy. You're right. I mean, at least as far as we can tell, Envy has not been practicing as often as UNSC has, or as consistently at least, especially later in the season. And of the maps where practicing as a team is not as important to choose, Waterway is the one where individual ability can help support the rest. There's strategy, that's important. There's coordination, that's important. But this map is so fast and back and forth and so open that compared to like Quarry or Volcano, I feel like Envy's performance is going to be punished less as a result of that. And clearly, despite the lack of practicing, they do have coordination somewhat figured out from that last payload. But it's still very up in the air which team is going to take this Waterway for the reasons we talked about earlier. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to give Envy a little bit of a bias here in who I think is going to take this map. They have been so fast and so on it, and their individual ability is so top notch that it's going to be hard for UNSC to try and overcome it here. And I think this is going to end up being a one map to one map scenario after the Waterway.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I will also say one of the interesting things about UNSC's lineup even today is, obviously for those that have been around a couple seasons, they know that both Sandman and Rusty are former Envy players.
True.
And so both of them, they have friends and relations on the team, and now they get to shoot them in this next map.
That's always fun.
And
Yeah.
here we go.
Oh boy, here we go.
Waterway.
Waterway is such a fun map because it's all about fights. It's about who can you fight and can you fight them faster. So we're seeing Darkmoon doing his classic rollout already in the enemy base. And
Oh.
match ended by
Oh.
Match restart.
Is there a false start? Wrong
Uh-oh.
server?
Looks like it. Well, there
Okay.
shouldn't be any server
Interesting.
changes.
Well,
Okay.
we've got the hands raised communication. If you have a problem and need to restart, raise those arms up. Don't shoot nobody. Otherwise, how are you going to know? But I'm sure we're going to be getting into the map soon.
I think
Just
it's
wonder what
the
that's about.
non-height standard mutator. Okay, that's
Oh,
fun.
that could be it.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was requested, and this is the last season that we get to use this mutator, as standardized height will be enforced for next season.
So there's some
Probably.
arguing going around. Sandman throwing his arms up. Jedi saying, hold on. That is one thing that is so great about VR, is so emotive you can be with
So
your hands.
expressive.
It's like you're standing right next to
You just
the other person.
can't technically flip somebody off in Hyperdash unless it takes 2 hands. We've all seen it, I'm sure. But you can make a little heart if you go like this with your controllers. It's so cute.
The triangle heart, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Because it just have the thumb.
Maybe it's
inputs.
Rusty? Is it Rusty having headset problems?
Rusty might have crashed.
He might
No,
have
he's
accidentally
moving
hit
a
the
little
power button.
He just looks like he's
I think
holding his
cat
head.
hit the power button. Yeah.
Who did that
Yeah, I had
happen
to lock my
Remember?
cats out. Sorry. They
was
really
IG.
wanted to be in the booth. It's okay. I'll bring him in during the halftime show. I got you. Yeah, half of
Dash
the day
cat.
when Goose was setting this up, Twilight kept jumping into his lap. And he was like, I'm gonna pass you
Yeah.
this.
I just the cat just kept jumping into my lap or jumping up on the keyboard trying to help, and
Oh, yeah, he's absolutely trying to help. Of course.
so I'm wondering what the delay is at this point. Oh, there we go.
Let's get
Okay,
going.
Right.
okay.
Never mind.
All right, so Waterway, the map about fights and taking fights fast. Whatever else.
Also,
you'd
someone
say.
might go for a swim.
Also,
Right.
yeah, definitely. All right, GTF opening with the button, and we're seeing some nice pistol sniping. 2 people pistol sniping over on Envy in their base. Looks like GTF's a little lost, looking for Dark Ghost, who does
Uh-oh.
end up taking him out. Dark Ghost doing a good job, but doesn't actually end up hitting button. Does get 2 kills, which is kind of crazy.
UNSC doesn't have their base.
UNSC doesn't. Oh no. Oh man. Okay, so Dark Ghost now with some dashes does get taken out. Venom gonna do some good long range shooting here. Doesn't get the kill, but his teammate does end up taking it. Venom gonna wait for this bottom dash. He's just gonna try to roll out. Looks like he's gonna just ride this. Wow,
Oh,
bottom
man.
rail, get a nasty kill. Noob is gonna fall, but maybe not get punished for it.
Countdown.
Yeah, does get punished for it. Countdown does get countered. Now we see a lot of UNSC in their own base. This is Envy's time to try to push out, get take some space, do what they can. It looks like Rusty gets a nice back of the head shot on Koala. Now Rusty's gonna push into the enemy base. Ballsy to push the pistol sniper like that pays off. Rusty now does, get taken out by Koala respawning though.
It's going to be a lot of this back and forth, especially as the teams feel out pretty much the vibes of what each opponent team is going to do, where players are going to go. Once you get into that flow state, you really can start to get into your opponent's heads, switch things up. But normally, unless there's a very quick point for one team or another, this back and forth is what we tend to see in the early stages of the map until one team seems to figure something out and get something clicked. Thus far, the defense of both teams has been good enough to clear their base, but not enough to prevent players from getting in it, as we see their Koala almost going down to Sandman. Does take him out and follow up onto B, starting to move forward, trying to delay for the rest of his teammates to follow up, but eventually gets taken out by Sandman. Didn't have enough Envy following up, and we can see, like I was talking about, both teams are pretty good about pushing off the B button and trying to keep that momentum and reach forward and get something in their favor. But thus far, the fights on top of B have been just so even, so back and forth. Nobody's really able to get a purchase into either base, as Dark Moon goes down to Sandman here, who sets up to try, taking out both D players to try pistol sniping and hopefully holding B as UNSC puts the pressure forward onto Envy's base. Can they get something done? Countdown for UNSC. Does not turn into a point. Good counter by Dark Moon. The rest of Envy respawning and turning things around.
Darkmoon taking their base, let me add. That was not a counter at their own base. Now GTF in UNSC's base. We do see Envy has 2 points now, so they did completely flip the advantage over to their side. UNSC somehow gets a countdown. GTF barely countering at the enemy base. UNSC with another countdown here. GTF is stuck in the basement. This might be a point for
gets the dash.
UNSC. That's a point for UNSC. Absolutely crazy.
Wow.
I can't believe UNSC flipped that. I
That was
cannot believe
insane.
UNSC flipped that.
And with 2
Incredible.
players still up.
Wow. All right. Envy's going to have to really lock in for this one. You see them doing the pre-round shooting. I do that whenever my team... I'm like, all right, come on. Accuracy lock in. Fire rate lock in. I'm locked in. We're seeing a rollout here by Dark Ghost again, taking out the kills that he needs and then ends up hitting their button. Dark Ghost
Even better than the first time.
I know. And UNSC scores. Oh
What
my
is going
God.
on?
Wow.
UNSC
That was such
has
a
it
flip.
figured out.
I didn't even
I'm
notice it
telling
was a
you.
countdown.
Dude, Dark Ghost is the GOAT.
Incredible.
If Dark Ghost survives this next push, I think UNSC is going to 3-0. Can GTF get this kill against Dark Ghost going the high rail, or will he die on B? Okay, there we go. That's huge momentum for Envy, excuse me, who now has control of their own base and B, had B, but has just now lost that momentum. Jedi trying to follow up with his teammate, making it not quite into UNSC's base. UNSC still trying to clear things out. We've seen them score points before with multiple players in their base, but Envy getting the countdown. Rusty goes for dash. Oh, bit of a risky play, but knew the timing, was sure about their dash placement, managed to get that button and that counter. Another flank on Jedi too. Gets the kill there. Venom trying to hold things down on B for the rest of his team to follow up. Envy scrabbling for any chance, any opportunity to try and get the mental momentum back into their favor. If Envy gets 1 point, I wouldn't be surprised if they get another quick score soon afterwards. But can they even get there? This mental momentum is so important on this of all maps because it's so quickly can turn against your favor, as we saw on that second UNSC point. You cannot let up, you cannot relent, you cannot lose focus, and UNSC has not lost focus.
Yeah, absolutely. That momentum is just so real. We've seen in so many games a 2-0 turn into a 3-2. And now we're seeing Envy doing a good job of trying to control B here. Envy definitely is controlling B more this round than they have on the previous rounds, but they're struggling to follow through with that. Now a great hold by Envy here on B, gets a kill on who they need to get a kill on. Now let's see, I would like to see Koala or someone pushing into the enemy base.
Rusty flank.
Enough time for a Rusty flank. That's why I want to see Envy pushing into the enemy base for exactly that reason. Now we see UNSC took B back with Rusty pushing into the enemy base. Does get taken out, but that's the kind of momentum that I want to see and why I think ultimately UNSC has been taking this map so far. But oh wow, that long range by Oogie Boogie. Oogie Boogie I think has taken out the pistol sniper every single time he's been on cams like that. I never can hit that shot. I don't know what he is doing, man.
No kidding.
But holy crap, Taser taking B here. Now is almost kills himself, but doesn't go in the drink, but does get killed by Venom, just padding a little bit of KD there. Venom does get a nice headshot, but gets shot in the back by Sandman. Sandman now is going to follow through and try to push in the enemy base. He's not looking at... Welcome Sandman to the audience. Not taking any fights on that life. But here we see Envy does have B under control very well. Koala pushing up with the rest of his team. Does get taken out by a nice double B hold by UNSC, but not able to follow it up as Jedi doesn't have taken B. Gets a nice B control there. And Envy gets a countdown. 3 seconds. Oh, but it does get countered at UNSC's base, meaning UNSC has respawned. If you're new to Dash League, if you're new to Hyperdash, when the countdown is happening, the enemy team cannot respawn until it is countered. And since UNSC countered, their team respawned and they were able to control their B.
Okay, no point.
Oh, Envy,
another countdown for Envy.
Now there's only
point.
Taser and Sandman. Oh, but they do get the counter, and now their teammate is starting to respawn. We see UNSC does get B control. It looks like Envy has lost the momentum they had, but we see 2 Envy players in the enemy base. They only need UNSC's base. This could be what they're looking for. One of them gets taken out. 2 of them get taken out. Oh, the last
Rusty
one
survived.
enters the base. Come on.
He goes defensive and didn't need to get the kill. His teammate followed up. Now he's going for the bottom B, probably to fight Koala the way the rest of this map has been going. No health grab. Koala does end up winning that fight, playing defensive. One thing I've noticed, anytime these UNSC players get up in Koala's face, Koala, for how fantastic of a player he is, the fights become way more even. Anytime Koala is not shooting you from across the entire map. And thus far, anytime Koala pushes up, it seems like players like Taser and Rusty manage to get behind him, and that is a huge boon for UNSC, trying to control B. And thus far, they've had B sort of more in their favor more often than not, but they're really starting to hit a rut at this point. Envy locking in has been in UNSC's base a lot more often, not going to turn into a point just yet, but if Taser gets killed...
So close.
No. Okay, no point yet for Envy, but Envy is close. They can feel it. They can taste it.
Countdown again.
Another countdown for Envy. Another countdown for Envy.
This might be what they need. This could be it.
Are there any players in position to get that push into UNSC's base? They're all charging up dashes, but there's one UNSC player behind, and a countdown for UNSC. GTF going to pop up.
Oh!
No point. No
NV
point.
countdown.
NV countdown.
3 seconds left.
Only
2 seconds
Oogie
left.
and Taves are... Okay,
Oh,
countdown on B. UNSC has had players in the right place at the right time. NV, I wonder, once you get to 3
UNSC
players in the
countdown.
base, countdown for UNSC, is
2
this the
seconds
point?
left. This
GTF
could
goes
be it.
for
This could be
He's taking
it.
out.
That's a UNSC
Whoa.
3-0 sweep.
Whoa.
Wow.
Dang!
That's insane. If we
Envy
look at the poll,
unable to get a
everyone thought
point.
Envy was taking this. That's crazy. 61%.
I thought Envy was taking this.
I thought Envy was taking this. Great job by UNSC. Can you
Okay.
read off these stats for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, top kills overall. Koala, 40 and 24. Oh my gosh, for the whole map. Dark Moon top score overall, 73-51. With 22-22, Venom 21-22, GTF 21-20, Jedi 12-32, Rusty for UNSC 25-21, Oogie Boogie 28 and 20, Taser 24 and 20, Darkos 19 and 25, and Sandman 21 and 30.
Wow.
Good read.
Yeah, that was a good read. That was
I need my
absolutely crazy.
glasses.
I think that's a massive upset. Not
Yeah.
necessarily that UNSC won, but the 3-0 sweep. I don't think anyone, you're lying in the audience if you said you saw that coming after that payload.
I think Envy is regretting not scrubbing this week.
Yeah.
I am just gonna call that. I mean, they have a fantastic roster, but if they haven't gotten to practice the map multiple times with that lineup, it's difficult to have that same level of coordination. And obviously, I mean, Dark Moon and Koala did, a fantastic job, both top scoring, top killing for the map for Envy, but you need a team to get those countdowns and points. And they had some very, very close points that were almost scored, but UNSC was ready to counter. And the instantaneous flips throughout the entire map between the two teams, that's raising our blood pressure.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm just catching up on chat here. Let me just say, a few people pointing out, again, I think we pointed it out earlier, the swap happened. Switching out Baron there, I think was a very interesting move, as Baron was doing so good on that payload.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how that would have gone if they'd kept him in, just considering he had such a good KD and was getting a few kills that really mattered, similar to how Oogie Boogie was doing on that payload. Obviously, know your map. I know on Loop we had multiple times that certain people would master a map, and that was the way to go. But after that 3-0 sweep, you start to wonder some of the, how things could have gone, how things did go, what happened. I'm also seeing someone in the chat saying that the delay was due to them talking about possibly subbing out Oogie Boogie, but then they decided not to.
Whoa.
I did see that.
That's
So
got to be
here's-
battery, right?
No, it's for
No,
lag.
dude,
That
it's lag.
that
Okay.
Envy wanted
Okay.
to.
So
Got it.
I've personally have seen my team have to play against Oogie Boogie, and I will say, normally if he's teleporting on McDonald's Wi-Fi, I would agree with
Right, yeah.
Envy. But based off of the stream, at least from our POV in the booth, his Wi-Fi was pretty stable for the majority of that entire first map. So
Yeah, I can't say I noticed anything.
I didn't see any of the normal teleporting or lagging that he's sometimes associated with. So I can understand, UNSC standing behind that, because it can be a valid, cause in such a fast-paced game if you have a player that's visibly teleporting in the game. It does make the game kind of unplayable. Especially in the lobby. And in those cases, protocol, Gollum, you can probably attest to this better, but you just have to record the player in the lobby and just say, hey, this is the evidence as to why we want this player subbed out. But if there's not, evidence to back the claim, he can play.
Yeah.
And he did an excellent job.
Yeah.
So-
Let me just throw in here, I believe, so since they requested him to get subbed out, I think the board member Gollum here might be better to talk about it, but they didn't, that it can go under review after this game is over, but
Yes.
ultimately we just play it out.
That's correct.
Yep,
That's correct.
that is true.
If ultimately a team's not gonna have a player leave, you can't force them because it's not up to you whether or not they actually deserve to leave. It's up to board review. If we get something submitted later, then that'll happen. But based on just the stream, at least, it looks pretty fair. And
Yeah.
Oogie did crazy phenomenal. It's no
Yeah.
surprise that with his reputation and with how well he played today, that call could have happened. Like that makes sense to me.
Hey,
But
I mean,
Oogie's
if I
staying in,
got
huge
97
difference
kills on a map, but people wanted to sub me out because of my internet,
Right.
like,
I mean, there's no way I could see you.
Yeah, here's the thing. Flip
even if
booking
he
goes
was
both
laggy.
ways. If you're teleporting,
Yeah.
that often also means that your shots aren't connecting because of your server connection. Just like teleporting also puts you at a disadvantage because people have already moved by the time you get to where you think you are. So if Oogie's, like, when Oogie has played on McDonald's Wi-Fi, he has not gotten that many kills in his previous match history. When he was noticeably teleporting. But, you know, in the chat, Mr. Llama said they have video evidence, which I'm sure the board will handle, and that's completely in their hands. So,
True.
we are here to see the next map, which
Wait,
is...
hold on. Are you saying there may be drama happening in Dash?
Drama
I
in
know
Dash.
you love
What
drama.
are you talking about?
It never happens. I don't know what you're. This is slander.
Never. No.
All right, but speaking of, we are moving on to Canyon, my favorite map besides Control Point.
I like it if I have something on the rocks. But I'm not called Little Tipsy for no reason.
Right.
But no, Canyon, which I'm sure you guys can also talk about, is the highest pre-checked percentage map. And
highest use of SMGs. Maybe not at this level.
Goose, you're one to talk.
You know, I do enjoy some SMG play. I like to squat down right next to the cart and let them come to me.
And
then,
behind the rocks, under the shock bridge,
and then just go.
No, that is definitely what Canyon is associated with. There has been a huge debate across the seasons as to an adjustment of the easy rollout of the 2 SMG pickups out of red site spawn. So that is something that, you know, everyone has mixed feelings on whether SMG should be nerfed, yada yada yada. But you know, who cares? It's a video game. Honestly, I think it's just up to who's playing it.
True.
But,
and
yeah.
to your point about the SMG's power, even at this level, I would not be surprised to see both sides using SMGs to lock down that main rail
Oh,
checkpoint
100%.
because it's so easy to get it. And when you are set up with 2 of 1 gun, that is always going to be a very strong setup if you've practiced with them, almost regardless of what the gun is. Part of the reason people use double pistols so much, especially at this high level, is not just the accuracy and the speed at which you can shoot it, but that you already have 2 of them. You don't have to split both hemispheres of your brain to use 2 different guns and like mind game that. But having double SMGs down the main rail, that is what the SMGs are made for. And I fully expect both teams to use it and to be trying to pre-check each other here, because the cart has to get to 51 or so %, like percentage-wise at least, halfway through the entire map just to get to checkpoint. Earlier on Launchpad, it was 33%, I think. Something like that in the 30s.
Launchpad 33.5. Canyon is 51.5.
Yeah. So it's so much further, and because red side has so many advantages with the pickups and eventually
Dashes?
the spawn getting into their advantage, dashes.
Yeah, there's
rockets.
no dash advantage for blue side pre-check. And that's
It is
honestly
tough
why
out there.
Mars and Chaos have their names, because that's like as far as their initial first 3 dashes will get them before they have to either get a kill or recharge a dash to push past. But no, I think this will be really interesting. I am curious if Envy is going to sub Baron back in for the next payload. Also with UNSC, it looks like M-Dubs
is coming in.
Is coming in for the next payload as well. So they took out Dark Ghost, and it looks like Jedi's still in. So I'm curious if he will be playing the next payload.
Interesting. So this is, of course, the opportunity for UNSC to take this finals. Envy kind of on their toes right now.
Yeah, this was not quite the upset people were expecting. There are a lot of Envy fans in the chat telling Envy that they need to Step it up. Koala dropping 500 kills and Darkmoon with 300. Percy too.
That would do it.
Also
That would do
saying triple SMGs, SMG best weapon, SMG meta dying soon, Nerf pistol,
I love
buff
so many.
pickups.
We have so many SMG defenders in the chat.
Let's go.
Also, Mabel, my cat, is watching at home. Shout out to Mabel.
She is an Envy
She is an
fan.
Envy fan.
Yeah.
No idea where she got that from, but she is cheering on Envy. She can't be biased because she's a cat. So.
Exactly. Just like Eclipse is a fan of UNSC.
There you go. We should have like a little cat cam.
I know, right?
And and then we need to vote in a cat mayor.
The mayor of Dash League. Everyone submit a photo of their cats in a new thread. Gollum, can you make that real quick? And
Sure,
we'll vote to elect the cutest cat as the mayor of Dash League.
Yes, exactly.
I think that's a great idea for the community.
You
Dogs
can
aren't allowed,
listen to
though.
that wonderful discussion we had, cat mayor versus dog mayor on Dashcast, episode 7.
Would it be episode 8?
Was it episode 8? No, I don't know.
Episode 7 just came out.
It was the one that just came out.
Wait, you talked about cat and dog. Oh,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
bad, gang.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Sandman talking to Rusty. Getting some discussion.
Are they in the same room or not? Yes, we're in the same room. Hi, guys.
Live in the flesh. I came all the way to Lil Tipsy's house so that we could do this in person, in the flesh. It's not a trick of the camera. There's no. Yep.
Sorry, I had to honk his. Sorry. His beak. Goose joke. I like to ruffle feathers. It's okay. He was
God.
talking about getting a goose tattoo this morning, actually.
Yeah,
Fun fact.
I was thinking about
Wait.
getting
About
a
his
goose
like
tattoo.
little cartoon profile. Yeah.
Do it.
And
do
who
it.
knows? Well, I can't spoil it. I was gonna say something else, but I can't spoil another match that
Oh,
just
that's
was
oh,
played
no.
today.
Gotta stick with
Don't.
that. Gotta
But
stick with
maybe I will get a Dash League themed tattoo at some point.
Hey, I think that's pretty cool. Honestly, you know, I will say he already does have one tattoo, but I won't say what it is. But honestly, you guys should guess what kind of tattoo Goose currently has.
Yeah. What do you think? What kind of tattoo?
Because
do you
he's
think
so
I would have?
heavy metal, right? Yeah, it's okay. I have a tattoo too, but you'll never see it because it's behind my ear, so my VR headset's always covering it.
Speaking of VR headsets, terrible transition, but very soon we are going to be seeing what is behind this door in the update happening, I believe, in June.
Yes.
So that is going to be exciting. Triangle Factory still working on Hyperdash, which we love to hear. And
Lat got a sneak peek of it.
yeah, apparently.
So-
But
You guys can pester him with questions.
we
I'm sure he'll
are
love that.
very excited to see what comes in that June update. And I believe that is the same update that will up everybody's
Level capped.
the level cap to 999. So we're curious to see who will be the first to 101 and who will be the first to 999. we gotta have a lot of people grinding out there to get that.
It might take a quarter century, but I'm sure somebody's going.
Quarter century smash. Hey, us free-to-play players are hitting almost 1,000 hours already. It'll be fine.
True.
Rusty booping the camera and then
Wrong
running
corner.
away.
There you go. But
I
yes.
want a swing set in the spawn. That's what I want. in
Yes.
A
that area.
swing set. Okay.
100%.
Oh yeah.
I feel like with VR though, wouldn't you get a little bit of motion sickness? If
No,
your
I'm built
horizon line is
different, that's all I can
shifting,
say.
I don't know.
Dash League
that
players
was-
are built different.
Hey, I mean, I personally am proud of the fact that I have swindled quite a few friends into buying headsets and starting to play Hyperdash. And when they first started playing, it was definitely an adaptation for them to get used to VR gaming versus PC because it's physical movement. But you know, after the first week, most of their motion sickness normally goes away if they're not using like the snap churn. Snap churn, I don't understand snap churn players. You guys can preach about it all you want. It's so fast. It's so nice. I don't have to turn or break my neck or my back. Okay, that's great. But having your horizon line shift without you physically moving, that is disconcerting for me personally. I would rather turn IRL, even though I know it's slower. Oh, Koala's saying hi. He's doing his stretches.
Yep.
Let's go. Okay, yep. Gotta stretch those upper arms.
Hey, you stretching before playing this game is actually very important.
He was doing it right over here.
While I always gotta like do my squats and my arms up and down because I feel like after I play this game, I am just very not limber. My bones.
Yeah, he is holding his controller and just warming up his finger while
I was warming up my finger. I don't know if anybody else does that.
Oh, you're starting.
And we are off.
Oh, here we
Let's go, Canyon.
All right, dropping right into it. On the red side, we have Envy starting out with the defense. UNSC on the offense as blue. It looks like GTF is maybe going to be going as a secondary SMGs or just figuring out some point of communication. No, he's picking up shocks there. Okay. A big question for me is always how far back does red team set up at the start? Some teams are all up in blue team's face right at the beginning. Some teams hang way back here and do not push until the cart is fully exposed. Thus far, it looks like Envy and UNSC playing a little bit scrappy. Cart is down. I like that pre-fire of shocks by GTF, and the cart still down. It looks like UNSC might have overextended just a little bit as GTF still alive, shocking that cart. The cart just now starting to go up as GTF gets pushed back, trying to keep those shocks alive. Well worth it, trying to play his life here. But Oogie punishes that forward push, knowing that the shocks are pre-firing into that chaos room. Gets taken out. UNSC has full control of their spawn area, starting to move forward. Venom, good headshot onto M-Dubs on the cart, kills Rusty as well from above, clears Chaos, tries to hop up, takes out Oogie Boogie as well. What a beautiful run from Venom, finally getting ended by Taser, clearing the cart. UNSC not going to lose focus or lose momentum here, trying to control that high rail. Dark Moon not going to let that happen. Good flank position by Sandman, clearing out those disruptors. Good double stack by UNSC as well, and now Sandman is all up in the business. Picks up that dash, takes out Dark Moon as well. That's the second kill. Takes out Jedi, who is just crouched on the ground doing who knows what. Finally, Dark Moon gets that kill there, going for that flank dash. You're going to see a lot of important fights in that flank. The cart finally going down, but still, UNSC players are alive, are disrupting, are following up on the objective. Envy struggling to get control here. Koala goes down. Oogie getting in position to take that flank. Takes out Venom, knows it's its time, is going to prevent any sort of rockets setting up around the cart, which is down at this moment in time.
Yeah, and you know what? If I can just throw in that they're just barely behind pace right now, UNSC is, for how amazing they were doing at the opener there. And the double stacking, which I really like to see early on. Envy has more than made up for it. Usually you want to see 4 minutes when you start making the bend, and as we can see, there's 4 minutes, and I don't see any bend. I mean, the bend is in sight, but they haven't started it yet. As they're just about to start it here, they're maybe 5-10 seconds max behind average league pace. This is pretty surprising given what we've seen out of UNSC taking all the maps so far, but not surprising if you know that Canyon is by far the most taken map of all of them. Oh my gosh, UNSC, it looks like might have lost a player. Can we pull up the scoreboard real quick?
Got to make sure that's right, because that would be
missing
huge
player.
if
Let's
UNSC
get the scoreboard
had
pulled
a
up.
power play.
Oh, there was a drop from UNSC.
Yeah, drop from
no.
UNSC. That's huge for Envy and would probably explain why Envy is able to stop this cart so solidly now. That one person makes
like Taser
an
dropped.
unbelievable difference. Taser, man, his cat stepped on his power cord. That's crazy.
Wait, one up crit, hopping in. You got to have players on retainer for moments just like this, especially when it's the finals, when it's the Dasher finals of all things. UNSC starting to move that objective. One up crit, coming in pretty unwarm, I would assume, considering they were not in this high-octane, intense match, but is very good at staying objective focused, and I think that's exactly what UNSC needs right now. One up crit, good kill there, almost gets another, but does dance around the objective, get a little bit of movement. They're finally around that corner, well behind pace, but still have a relatively short distance to go, all things considered. Just can they keep that movement up, or will Envy be able to stop Cart, with cart stacking and with this main rail disruption that Envy has been doing so well. Rusty hopping on, taken out by rockets. Now that these double rockets out of GTF are up, UNSC is going to be fiending for them. Fiending for that flank dash especially is the perfect way to take out rockets, or at least shove them out of position. GTF backs up just as the cart is starting to move, grabs a bit of a dash, but the flank dash I think is up. Somebody on some team is going to take a good kill on Rusty there. GTF still alive. Very accurate with those rockets, knows the movement, almost makes it into the flank to try and clear that out, but that dash was taken, and now GTF has to play his life, which is going to make killing that cart that much more difficult. Disruptor is after him. He's hiding behind every corner that he can. Teammates take out the Disruptor, and GTF still alive. Envy still holding the cart, but the cart was moving there.
It was. GTF whiffing a few of these rockets in very pivotal moments. Something I want to point out, if you look at the scoreboard here, Dark Moon actually outkilling Koala. I think a little bit of an upset there. But even crazier is Oogie Boogie top killing right now in the whole map. Oogie Boogie on an absolute tear today. GTF doing some amazing Rocketeer right there. Rocketeer work. The duo of GTF shutting down this cart and Dark Moon and Koala locking in and pushing forward is turning out to be a massive menace to UNSC. UNSC losing probably 30 to 45 seconds due to the person that they had down now needs to make up for that time tenfold. And right now, without shutting down GTF, it's just not going to happen. It's just not. GTF here is able to shut down this entire cart practically solo, but he doesn't even need to, because GTF honestly isn't getting that many kills because his team is so locked in right now, shutting down every push that UNSC is trying to make. Cart does get a little bit of movement here, but gets taken out not by the Rocketeer, but by his teammates. This is the cart focus that I wanted to see on Launchpad. Sandman with some amazing shock.
Wow.
Does shock himself. Too amazing. Too amazing.
So close. But UNSC has to make this checkpoint. 30 seconds left, and look, 3 people around cart. Rocket barely takes out
Sandman
cart.
follows up. No.
Not enough. 30 seconds left. MDubs does get taken out. I'm nervous for UNSC right here. I'm very nervous.
They were without a player for about a minute, maybe even that, and that really hurt them here, as they may not be able to make it to this checkpoint without an incredible overtime push. Also, those rocket kills by GTF, that survivability was very impressive. Multiple minutes in a row where GTF was basically untouched, and Koala locking down this rail is going to be very tough. Can UNSC make it through? No, they're not going to be able to beat that defense. Too much rail riding does mean they're out pre-checkpoint.
Maybe coming back with a passion.
Yeah, that's a huge upset to not make checkpoint. And Envy, if Envy doesn't lose any players, I'm thinking Envy is going to take this one. I mean, that's
They don't even
really
have
crazy.
to make checkpoint. They've got to make it just to where UNSC did. They've got to make it to 48 point whatever %, and they'll take this map, and the momentum will be back in their favor with a chance to bring it to control point if they win the Volcano afterward. This opener is going to be very telling about how that's going to go.
Absolutely. UNSC is going to have to lock in here. Lock in. Now we are going to see red team. Red team generally does get more kills than blue team, but if we actually look at the KDs, I think Envy is taking the charge here. GTF, wow, 19-8. That's crazy. Now, a pretty timid hold so far by UNSC here, holding very far back with the shocks and the SMGs and the explosives and all that stuff. Very normal meta. Not dissing it at all for how it works in the meta. However, for how important this game is for them to not even make it close to checkpoint, I would like to see a little bit more of Cart being shut down, and that's what we're finally seeing here. Cart is absolutely getting dumpstered right now. 5 kill streak by Rusty, absolutely insane. Rusty practically solo holding Cart there, excuse me. Rocket's taking out Cart. Now Envy's doing a good job of hopping on as soon as their teammates are dead, but this is only because their spawn is right there. It's very easy to do when you can see the Cart right out of spawn. Once the Cart starts getting further away from spawn, I'd like to see how they keep that up. Now, they are doing a really good job right now, is Envy, of pushing the Cart. Someone's been on it for a very long time. And now they're double stacking. Envy is saying, no, we're taking this map. We're taking it. The double stack, this is a crazy double stack by GTF and Jedi right now. Now Jedi alone on Cart, as one of is about to get a nice overflank on it, but it gets taken out by Moon and GTF. Now we're going to see the double stack go back up. This is exactly what I want to see out of Envy. Envy is absolutely demolishing the pace that UNSC had set right here. I think they're like 20 seconds ahead of where UNSC was at this point, but GTF just hopping off Cart for fun.
Check things around.
Yeah.
Scan the surroundings.
Well, just make it a little bit of a challenge, you know?
Right. And double stack again with Dark Moon and GTF again. does eventually go down. No, Koala still alive on cart, and now another that Koala tries to prevent that flank dash from going to red, but UNSC has struggled to try and set up any sort of defense, and Envy on a wild pace with a brief triple stack. Multiple of those players going down, but still the momentum is in Envy's favor. Still, they are moving that cart. UNSC still struggling to set up any sort of solid defense, needs to lock down that main rail before Envy can try and ride it. And anytime they sneak players behind, players like Koala, like Jedi, like GTF, onto cart and start getting micro push movement, that can actually mentally really drain on the defensive team, as they have to contest with players in every single direction, it feels like. Flankers on your left, and flankers onto the cart on your right, and you just can't lock in that main rail while you're doing it. Rockets go down.
Ooh, Envy gets a
good
flanker.
double kill. Rusty now trying to control that flank behind cart, but Envy was moving 3 minutes and 28 seconds, and they are nearly to that 48% mark. Wildly successful is Envy thus far, pretty much guaranteed at this rate, besides some miracle to make it to the point that UNSC did and take this map and bring the momentum back into their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. UNSC is not just going to need to lock in. They're going to need a little bit of a miracle to end up winning this map. This is crazy close. Less than 3% needs to be made in 3 minutes. That's a percent a minute. I think I can do that. You know,
Right.
I think if anybody can do it, Envy can do it. I think a lot of teams would gladly accept that challenge, and here Venom taking the challenge of a long-range fight and does end up winning it. Now we're seeing Venom overheading cart as his teammate does get taken out, and then Venom ends up getting taken out. Not enough cart focus coming out of Envy here, I think. Maybe never mind. Dark Moon doesn't need any teammates. Dark Moon goes on a 4-man kill streak and pushes a whole 1.5% by himself practically. Dark Moon absolutely insane of a player. We're seeing UNSC finally gain control back, but now they only need less than, 1%, maybe exactly 1% in
Koala
2
might
minutes.
get it.
Koala might get it here by himself, pushing it. Now they're both at 48%. It's so close. UNSC needs multiple people standing on this cart at all times to stop it, which is probably just not possible because you also need those people up forward. Now they get the wipe on cart, and
there
that's
it
it.
is.
The map.
Envy ends up taking it with 2 minutes left, which I will say is about how much UNSC lost once they were down a player in terms of timing on the meta. Can you read us off these scores?
Yeah, absolutely. Top kills overall for the whole map goes to Koala, 49-38. No surprise there. But right behind is actually Oogie Boogie, 43-33. Rusty, 41-33. Sandman, 37-34. One Up Crit, 28-26. M-Dubs, 14-39. And then for Envy, we have Dark Moon, 36-37. Venom, 35-30. GTF, 32-21. And Jedi, 10-43. But that is a win for Envy. They needed to take that map or else it would have been a 3-0 sweep for UNSC. So Envy is not out of the running yet. They have a chance to take the last map, which is the one, the only Fiery Pit of Volcano.
Let's go.
Woo! Woo!
So if Envy can take this volcano, they go to a control point.
And I love control point. I
Love
want to
me.
see it. That's crazy.
I am
Yeah.
so excited for this. Volcano, great map.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. It is the only domination map that has an armor pickup.
That is true.
Yeah, true.
Yep, which a
And
lot
that-
of people didn't know about because it's hidden in the little basement B.
But I feel like a lot of teams have incorporated that into their right off the rip. Somebody's always going for that armor.
Oh, absolutely.
And
It's
that's-
a great advantage because it gives you a bonus 100 health.
Absolutely. Like it's
.com on Phoenix.
.com on Phoenix.
Or
Right.
Rusty. I've seen Rusty grab it too.
Yeah.
They will grab it and then they will push the opponent's base with it. And then they will be trying to kill someone not only at your home button, but with armor on. So it
luck
can
on
get a
that.
little crazy.
Absolutely.
The openers for this map also are really interesting. There's that bit you mentioned about B, somebody's always immediately for it, and there often can be a fight for the armor if both
Oh,
teams
100%.
have one player going for it.
And for
but
button
also
holding.
the button holding as well, and the dash that's at your base. There's just enough movement and distance you can get out of that point dash, out of that base dash, to get to the opponent's button, or rather their dash, at the exact same time as somebody perfectly rolling out from their own spawn and getting their own button. And that's always an exciting fight, at least for me, a guy who's big on like the way the openers and domination maps play out.
We called it not Golem route.
Right.
Really? Is that true?
I called it not Golem route for how fast you could get from the spawn dash to theirs.
That's awesome.
Because watching Loop's footage from last season, you were the like fastest person that could ever get into the opponent's base. The same thing with whoever was grabbing the home button, memorizing the dash route from the lower outside of your spawn into your home base, because it's 3 and like a quarter dashes. So you have to time your dashes like perfectly to get the 3 and then be able to get there, and then still grab the right dash to push out. Because
and
the fight is over that dash, because it's for both sides. So
both players get there with no dash, just in front of it. And
just to
if
fight
your
on it.
timing is perfect. It's a perfectly timed instant fight. Whoever wins it gets the dash and gets the button, and it's a huge momentum boost.
I will say, I honestly think the person pushing the base, as opposed to the home base, has the advantage because they have a high ground and a health.
Yes.
When they push into the opponent's base. So depending on where you dash into your opponent's base using that top lane, you have an advantage because you know someone's gonna be there. But when you're pushing to grab your home dash, you don't know where someone's gonna be placed when they push in. But you know they're gonna end up on the dash.
And that's where the mind games come in at this high level. Is like if you know your opponents can do the route, and especially if you know they will do the route, where in that little microsecond do you think you're going to pre-fire to try and hit them? Or if you're the one at your own base, are you going to dedicate an entire other second player to help you out to try and win that fight?
Yeah, or you just grab the shotgun that's right in front of your button.
Right.
You just wait for them to grab the
just
button.
sit there.
Hey, there are teams that won't grab their home button on open on a domination. Because they would rather push more people out first. Because they know that the first person that dies that respawns can grab it.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Because ideally in those situations, that means that the first person respawning is grabbing your button at the same time you should have control of the other two. Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, yes.
But no,
both
I
these
love
teams.
Volcano.
Yeah. I don't know what their opinion is on this map. Clearly, they seem to like it more than Corey.
That's honestly shocking. Like, Corey's great. But I might think that the reason they didn't want to play Corey was because of how obliterating Envy was on Corey previously.
Yes.
With Koala and Dark Moon holding terminal outside B, and then just like their long range aim and just pushing in on those sight lines is just insane. Here's the thing with D players. They're vets, they're experienced. Volcano is the map that they have the least playtime on. It was the same thing for Acer players last season. And neither team wanted to play it last season. Because neither team had spent a lot of time on it. Honestly, I think that the teams that know Volcano map best are actually Sprinter teams. Walker and Sprinter teams actually practice this map throughout the season, and very few Dasher teams were willing to even play it in scrims. They hear Volcano and they go, ew, gross. Or like Texas Hook'em, always in the Dash League cast chat saying, I hope the volcano erupts.
Calling out Texas Hook'em.
Hey, there's not been a single match that had a volcano map in it that Texas Hook'em has not said he wishes the volcano erupted and that no more volcanoes allowed. So.
Well, okay. To be fair, during one of the dash casts, I did say that it would be cool if we had like a dynamic map thing. And the volcano erupting would be kind of cool. I think it would change a lot.
It's okay. But hey, if you guys ever want to learn some volcano tricks, I'm sure myself or Gollum could show you a few.
It's
like
underappreciated, and I think that's
really
mostly because it's new. People
and
have
the two
reasons.
shocks at B.
Sure, but yeah. Oh my goodness. Double
It's
shock
such
would
easy
be
pickups. You
terrifying.
have the rotating rails similar to like the stadium control point setup. Just rotating around. You have 3 levels of ledges on access to B. You have your snipers, your middle terminals, and then you also have the subway entrance, not even counting the middle. So it's technically 4 different openings to get to be on either sides. There's 8 avenues, not even counting the sub B, where someone will even hide sub B with the armor pickup and be ready to counter if need be or hold. There's just, it's always where the fights start. It's where they start, it's where they end. B is always where the action is at. Just like on most domination maps, B is it's the easiest button to counter at on Volcano. Countering at your own base, I've personally, this is just me, Gollum, you can absolutely disagree with me, but I personally think it is always safer and easier to counter at B than it is to counter in your own base, because there's only 3 different ways you can get into your own base. And anyone that's already holding your base, any opponent that's already there, they know which direction you're coming from. And so they have that advantage of being able to camp. It is very easy to stay alive in an opponent's base because you have areas to hide and you can know where they're coming from. So you have almost like a peeker's advantage when you're camping the opponent's spawn. But
Yeah.
the dab was crazy by Darkmoon.
Of the reasons that most, let's be honest, mostly Dasher players don't like Volcano, the one legitimate one that I understand, even if I think it's interesting and fun, is how far from spawn you need to go to counter anywhere.
Yeah.
Your own base or B. It is such a far distance that if a countdown happens and you can't respawn, but your respawn timer is still going, and a counter happens and you respawn and it goes straight into another countdown, you have no hope. No hope of getting to B or your own base unless you can get that first dash. And teams know this. Teams know this. It is such a far distance, and you have to work so hard just to get that counter and reverse the momentum, that if you don't have a plan in place or players set up in different positions to
A safety net.
Try and take things back, you'll get punished for it. And the experience on this map plays a huge factor in that. You need to be able to practice that awareness, that readiness, to have somebody in position somewhere to desperately get things back, because you can't rely on people to spawn.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is not the map to be waiting on a dash pickup. It is too easily
Yeah.
fired upon from either opponent. I think that's one of the downsides that's unusual with this map, is that there's absolutely no cover if you're grabbing the dashes. Because both of them on either side of the map in the square, like, they're directly open to sightlines. Either someone pushing in on the left side or someone pushing in on the right side of your base. Like, you can see anyone waiting to grab those dashes. So it's pretty common that someone will be applying pressure, and a lot of times when you see a countdown start, it's because an opponent has killed whoever was about to grab dash or waiting on the dash, and then the opponent grabs that dash at the spawn dash and then jumps into the base and grabs the button. And we are off to
we'll see a lot of
Volcano.
that. Yeah.
Here we go. Volcano hot map. Let's see how it goes.
Oh, and there's the armor.
Yeah, there's the armor.
That we were talking about.
All right, already rolling out here quick. Rusty getting stalled out in his base a little bit. We see a fight already happening on the bottom camp. Rusty's going to take a long-range fight and end up winning against Koala.
Countdown
That's
for
pretty
UNSC
good.
already.
Fast countdown.
Are
2
they going to hold the
seconds.
button? Okay, Envy
not
gets the
quite.
counter. Good for them. That was tight.
That was fast. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're seeing those respawns finally come out, like you guys were talking, and we're seeing that UNSC loses their own base here. Does end up getting it back, but Envy takes B to make up for it. Envy, this could be the momentum they need.
Countdown.
Koala gets a countdown. Not quite long enough, but does get a kill on Oogie Boogie.
Another
That's
countdown.
huge. Countdown's not lasting very long, but Koala did get a couple very important kills in some very important places. So this could be it. Countdown started. 3 seconds left. Envy might get it out here.
Not
Less
enough
than a
dashes
second.
from spawn. Not enough
Wow.
dashes from spawn. That's exactly what I was talking about. That's a
That's
perfect
a point
example
for
of that.
Envy.
This is this might go 2-2. We might see a control point here. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. All right, here we go. Seeing the rollout again out of Taser. We're gonna see Dark Moon in the bottom right.
3 UNSC players going own base. They're just gonna give up B at this rate, trying to take out whoever that was, Venom, GTF, or Koala. Multiple players going down for Envy. UNSC has their own button and has Envy's button and gets a countdown, but cannot control their own base as Venom gets a very nicely timed kill there. Envy now has the momentum in their favor. They may not have B, but they have a lot of players respawning. Venom did go down though, that's important, as UNSC now has their own base dash, and Rusty going on the offensive, going to try to lock in B and prevent these respawning Envy players from getting any sort of a confusing, confounding position here. Rusty does Caster's Curse go down as Envy gets a second countdown for a second sneaky point.
That was so fast.
Wow. This might be a 3-0 sweep. 3-0 sweep on Waterway to 3 sweep on Volcano. This is absolutely crazy. UNSC is fumbling the huge lead that they had. I mean, I think everybody expected it to be a 3-0 wipe after those first 2 maps. And now here's Envy saying, no, we're going to take it to control point and you're going to like it. So here Venom is in the enemy base. We see Envy already got 2 points down. Or 2 points captured, I should say. Venom here going to try to steal Dash. Can't quite do it, but he is going to start the countdown.
For Envy.
That's
Rusty.
a good
Oh my
kill.
gosh.
Good kill by Rusty there. That's exactly what they need. Rusty here is now going to get a nice little rollout. We see GTF in the bottom as well. Rusty waiting. You can see 2 sides of the same coin. He's about to go down. Rusty.
Does he get the health? Okay, cool. Sigh of relief for Rusty, going on the defensive in his own base, going to try and lock down that dash. This is the strategy that I kind of see this map becoming, is having somebody dedicated to your own button. Not something you would normally see. Maybe your own base a little bit, or like you rely on spawning to defend your own base if you're on Quarry or if you're on Waterway. But here, having somebody entirely dedicated to defending your base and getting that dash locked in so that your opponent can't easily steal your own base, can't easily start a countdown like Envy has for the past 2 points, is very important. One up crit dancing like his life depends on it, because it does. Gets that dash. Sneaks away with his... Oh, almost sneaks away with his life, but does not have the hit points to make it past Venom. Good kill there. Steals the dash. Goes on the offensive. This is nearly that perfect rollout that I was talking about, right at that corner ledge there. Low on health, though. UNSC has recognized that their weak point was their own base, not B, not necessarily the offensive on Envy's base, but their own. These Envy players sneaking through have been causing all kinds of chaos, and UNSC locking in on the defense.
UNSC getting a countdown now.
Has been netting them countdowns with, only 2 Envy players were alive. They did get that counter. Koala just now losing his armor. Does not get the dash. He's exposed. Sandman gets the kill, barely escaping with his life as GTF, 1 bullet to the back, does do him in. Turns that corner, takes out Oogie as well. This could be Envy momentum that they're looking for. No, he gets stuck on the rail. 1-up crit takes him out. Now 1-up crit. Pinned down. Does not make it to that health. Venom, well aware of the dash timing there, is going to try and take UNSC's base back.
Envy
Countdown for
countdown.
Envy. Only 3 players left alive.
One
Dark Moon
second
gets
left.
the hold.
Can it-
UNSC, oh my gosh. Very important kill onto Dark Moon. If Dark Moon had stayed alive holding that button for a split moment, for an inkling of a second, then UNSC would not be scoring.
UNSC
like they
countdowns?
are. Oh, no score for
so
UNSC, but
close.
there was a countdown briefly.
So many countdowns. Countdown to countdown to countdown to countdown. UNSC, the countdown while I'm
Another
talking about
countdown.
countdowns.
Rusty.
This is it.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
2 seconds left and they countered again. This is crazy back and forth. We're seeing that UNSC really is locking in and working the counter strategies against Envy. But Envy is not so quick to give up. And Envy is willing to get some countdowns on their own.
Countdown
As I'm
for
talking
Envy.
about it,
Only
this
3
could be
UNSC
it.
left alive.
Oh, loses B, but Envy does have some control of the enemy base, but it seems like that's the only thing they have control of. UNSC now getting some nice control, some map control. We see Sandman get a
kill.
nice headshot, but does get taken out by Koala. Koala's going to use that to go into B. Koala now pushing forward, gets a nice kill on Oogie Boogie. That's a powerful kill, as we've seen in the past. Koala does fumble a kill of an enemy going straight to his base, and now he's about to... Oh no! He takes out Sandman! I never would have won that. I never would have won that fight.
yeah.
Oogie Boogie now getting the dash as he's going to roll forward. UNSC only missing B, and yet Oogie Boogie goes to the enemy base, shows his role. We know exactly what he does on paper. Oogie Boogie now finally going back to B. Looking for a fight, can't seem to find it. Countdown for UNSC, but it's not going to be enough. There's a huge control over B for UNSC's side here, but they need to control the enemy base as well as B. Oogie Boogie getting some really nice kills on B, but it's not going to amount to anything. Oogie Boogie needing to return to Envy's base. UNSC does get a countdown though.
All of
2
Envy is
seconds
alive.
left. Oh, okay. Yeah, it is hard to get a score when the countdown has the entire enemy
UNSC
base.
once again.
UNSC
Only Jedi. Only Jedi.
Only Jedi. He does get it.
He gets a masterful counter.
UNSC has
somewhere
another
in the
countdown
world.
now.
They're
They're gonna go and hold B.
Yes,
Envy
Venom
does
gets the
get
counter.
the base. What a clutch up fight Envy there. Envy barely, I think there was literally half a second left and they ended up getting it. Envy now controlling most of the map, just needing the enemy base. And we're gonna see Oogie Boogie take a nice fight here. This is so close, I'm dying here.
Countdown for Envy once again. Good counter onto B. Almost a flip for UNSC, but not quite going to turn into a serious countdown because plenty of Envy players were left alive. They only have B for now, but I think the linchpin
UNSC
in Envy strategy. Countdown, okay, has been control of the B button. Envy has done a much better job of not just controlling the B button, but doing it in such a way that they don't lose the power, focus, and attention on their own base and on UNSC's base. UNSC, meanwhile, having Rusty, for example, who's a stellar player and very good at hopping all over around all sorts of different corners, which would be a skill set that I think would be very useful on B, and they certainly would like to have him on B, like I assume they did in the first 2 points, is having to be dedicated to their own base. I think that might be a little bit of adaptation unexpectedly in strategy because Envy scored 2 points so quickly and UNSC realized what was going wrong. They have to have somebody strong dedicated
Envy
to their own
countdown.
base. Countdown for Envy, but that means they lose power on the B button and Envy can start all sorts of countdowns if they're able to take out Rusty and control their own base. If Sandman loses a fight to GTF, for example, GTF's able to move in towards B and try and prevent any reinforcements as the rest of the B fight goes on. Good kill on 1-up, but Envy only has 2 buttons for now. GTF thinking about going for that armor, I bet. Does pop down? No. Yes. Okay. Confusing the heck out of me. UNSC gets a countdown, but GTF in a flanking position gets a dash from that kill. But he had another teammate in position, Jedi, to get that counter. Good button hold there. GTF low on armor is holding the top of B. Brief countdown for Envy does turn into points back and forth. Gets peeked on, but does not get shot. Loses the armor. It's just GTF and 1 teammate alive on B. They get that reverse, and no countdowns for either team just yet. GTF going for that armor. Perfect timing, paying attention to the clock. The countdown on the armor is much longer than any other pickup. Any other pickup is about 10 seconds, whereas the armor, I think, is 30, 20 or 30 seconds. They're much longer, and clearly GTF is paying attention to that clock, trying to prevent UNSC from getting that benefit. Does not manage to hit those shots and loses the fight to Oogie Boogie. Brief countdown for UNSC, not going to turn into a point at this time. Too many Envy players respawning. UNSC, I think, is just playing for time and delay to try and lock something in to change this momentum, and thus far, that has not worked in the favor of Envy when they were on Waterway. Envy, when UNSC got 2 quick points, delayed for a very long time and started to seem like they were getting the momentum back in their favor and then lost that 3rd point. We might see a repeat here, despite how desperately UNSC is trying to switch things up and move the puzzle pieces around until something clicks. Envy has a strategy that they've been working on, and that seems to work for them based on the scores reflecting that. And has had more countdowns, I think, than UNSC has. UNSC does get a countdown right now. The multiple Envy players left alive. They're trying to hold the
just
button.
GTF
Are they
Jedi.
going to counter on B?
Oh, this might be
GTF
it. Oh,
gets it.
GTF, nice counter, GTF. Wow, that was very close.
Last second.
I think if whoever that was holding the button had hid their head, that probably would have been a point for UNSC there. More proof of like how you got, like every little detail counts in Hyperdash. Hyperdash is like the most fast-paced, insane game I've ever played. And little things like that, like how you stand when you hold a button, how you see, if you know the enemies are coming, where you're standing from, all that stuff really matters. Sandman is doing a great job of controlling the enemy base. It's the only thing he's controlling until UNSC does end up getting the countdown. And wow, only Darkmoon alive on Envy's side, and he's
but he's alive at the button. That's all they need.
He got the
Wow.
kill. That was insane.
A ballsy choice to go for the fight over the button hold, and it looks like it did not pay off. But if you notice, Darkmoon was one shot. That was eerily close to a point for UNSC, just like right now, as Darkmoon again saves his team from losing a point. Dark Moon carrying the points here right now. As Koala and is pushing forward, gets taken out by Sandman though.
I do
And
see
now
a
we're
lot
gonna
of
see.
shotguns on UNSC side.
That's
Really?
true. That's true. I love that personally. I'm a
Taser
huge
too.
shotgun fan. I think shotguns are people need to use them. Surprisingly, not as many SMGs as I would have thought, seeing, especially considering how much chat was complaining about them. There's so many SMGs pickups around B, but we're just seeing the good old reliable pistols, just like that, taking out Jedi. And now we're going to see Taser finally pick up some armor, a little switch up.
No point.
Yeah, not quite enough, but Taser now with the armor can hold B if there's going to be a countdown. Looks like there's not going to be a countdown in time for him to do anything though. So now he's going to come and hold the enemy base, which is very nice, but it's not going to be enough because his team is not following up by holding B. Taser can't seem to get a break.
Is always in the wrong place at the right time, it seems like. And no countdown for UNSC as they do not have the distance on B that they need. In fact, the countdown for Envy, briefly. Taser, too committed though. It looks like he doesn't have button pickup, like where you hold a button in order to prevent accidentally picking up a weapon. I think that SMG was on accident, and he gets punished for it. Didn't have the pistols he was practiced with. No double charge shots for him. Loses that fight, and Envy has control of their own base once again. Briefly got a counter. Dark Moon moving up like a apex predator to lock in that dash. Does turn the corner just as the dash respawns and loses out on the chance to get it or to get that kill. But moving into UNSC's base, uncontested. Deals with Rusty in short form, but UNSC was about to get a countdown. Due to just the timing of when he was there, a countdown.
That's a UNSC countdown.
Win.
2
One more
seconds
fighter
left.
hold. That's a point for UNSC. That is
UNSC
Wow.
scored.
Nice.
A
Okay,
huge
let's see him go
celebration by
2 and
UNSC.
2.
See, if things continue on this pace, UNSC has a chance, especially with overtime, because we saw the first 2 points were out in, what, 4 minutes? I think Envy got it 4, maybe 5
something
minutes.
crazy.
And now that last point took almost 10. So, again, with 11 minutes left on the clock, if UNSC can get one more point and runs out the clock, we can see a nice overtime come out here. But it's close. It's going to be close. Envy just needs to counter whatever UNSC is doing, and that's a lot easier said and done than UNSC needs to say and do get 2 points, which is going to be a lot. Sandman.
Good plays by Sandman.
Sandman calling him stinky. The BM on.
Yeah, don't know what that's about.
That that's how it is. I know Envy was doing a lot of stuff like that in our match against them.
Right. Yeah.
So now we're seeing Envy does control a few points here, but is not able to follow it through with controlling UNSC's base. We see 11 minutes left on the clock here as UNSC does end up taking B. Now UNSC has a slight advantage, but GTF is ready to pounce on someone. He's waiting.
Boogie,
He's
at the bottom
salivating.
right, unaware of what's going to happen. He gets shot in the back. We could see that coming a mile away.
I do love those corners on Volcano.
Right.
Yeah. I would like to point out, I was knocking on having Rusty be defensive earlier, but clearly that is working out for UNSC as they score their second point. We have
Oh my gosh,
hardly
2-2
seen any
golden!
Rusty this match because Rusty is holding down the freaking fort.
Insane. I was reading chat and they got a point. I was like, unbelievable. So now we're gonna see Taser here roll out. We see that he almost has 10,000 score in the middle there, which I always love to see. Jedi or does take out Koala as Jedi is on the
kill.
mini map.
Almost the second one. Jedi
Fumbles the Jedi
kill
kill.
there.
Jedi is gonna get B. This is pretty good for you, Envy, but they're gonna need a lot of follow up to make it worth it. Jedi is gonna have to double back for some health pickup, which it seems like his team
Countdown for
already
Envy.
got.
Countdown for Envy.
Not enough. As now we see UNSC does control their own base. Taser is going to hit B, and he's going to do his nice little circle. And instead of, countdown for UNSC, instead of circling, he's going to go into the enemy base, which is where he is needed. We do see 2 Envy in the enemy base. Wait, they only control the enemy base. They're missing their own base and B. Now they're only missing B, as you can see up in the top there. Taser, again, ready to pounce, salivating in the mouth to shoot GTF in the back.
Misses all the bullets from the shotgun. What
Whip
happened?
City! Whip
the
City!
spread. Okay. Countdown for
Taser's
UNSC
done.
once again. 4 NB players
So
alive.
close.
Not going to turn into a point as the counters at UNSC's base and at B are more than enough for NB to get back into this game. But Taser going to be staying on the offensive here, trying to lock in NB's base. Clearly, UNSC seems to recognize that that is Dark Moon's preferred route, and countering Dark Moon is huge.
Countdown by
Momentum chance.
UNSC. 2
Oh,
seconds
only
left.
2
1
players left
second
alive. UNSC point and
Oh my
win
gosh!
the finals.
There it is.
UNSC takes it. Absolutely insane.
A
What a
reverse
comeback.
3 sweep.
With
What
9
a
minutes
sweep.
remaining, no control point. Oh, we already had a drop from Envy. Looks like GTF
Wow.
popped out.
A rage quit by GTF.
Oh.
Count those scores.
Oh,
You called it. Oh, let's switch over from
That was
Waterway.
Whoa!
to-
Look at
No,
UNSC's
I know.
kills.
That's insane.
So
Okay,
even.
top kills overall for tied between Oogie Boogie, Taser, and Rusty all at 41, Sandman at 40, 1UP Crit at 35, but top kills for the map goes to Koala, no surprise, 51-38, Jedi 24 and 40, Dark Moon 38-41, and Venom 36 and 46, and on that last second, we also had GTF was at 26 and 33.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Absolutely incredible. That was one of the most fun
The
finals
upset.
I've ever had the pleasure of commentating. That was insane. That was
Maybe.
the upset is crazy. I just want to throw in, chat was wrong on every poll. Every single one.
They really were wild.
Wow.
Chat, you guys suck at this. You're fired. We're hiring
Yeah.
someone new.
Also,
Oh,
shout out to
man.
UNSC not comping a player.
yeah.
Like,
And-
that was insane.
And you know what I'm really looking forward to is hearing from some of these team captains, and they will be jumping in for the post-game show.
Yes, please.
So let's go ahead and get us over to there.
Incredible.
That was absolutely insane. Great
Boom.
job, both teams, though. Also, I do want to say, hey, you gotta be good and practice both maps.
Mm-hmm.
UNSC taking those dominations, even though they had a player drop and ended up said he had no game audio on that third map.
Wow.
They still came back, took the third map, and are the Dasher champions. Like, that's absolutely incredible.
Incredible. And let's see. We don't have any captains in the open channel yet. Captains, if you want to go ahead and get in the open channel, we'll drag you in so that we can get some post-game interviewage going on. But like you guys said, fantastic, close game. Didn't go to a control point, a little bit disappointed in that, but we'll take it. Amazing, amazing game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
That was so intense to watch. And hey, the fact that Envy started off with a 2-0 sweep on that Volcano and UNSC came back, they adjusted, they adapted to what Envy had done, they kept the pressure up. That was absolutely insane. We got Gabe in the chat first, one of the captains of Envy. Say hey.
How's it going, GTF?
It's good. I don't know.
Good.
How did you feel about that game? Was there any highlights and anything that really brought you going?
I don't know. I feel like they definitely deserve the win. You know, their guys play a lot. I mean, I don't think anyone on our team has been on since like our last league match. Yeah.
Oh,
They
okay.
also.
They also,
Go on.
I don't know.
you know.
Oh, there
yeah.
he is. Okay, he's back.
All right. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. So, do you want to talk a little bit? I mean, no preparation for the finals. You guys played the last league match, which was, I think it was last weekend, was it? And then you guys
2 weeks
didn't.
ago.
No, 2 weeks.
2
ago.
weeks. So 2 weeks without team grinding. I'm sure you guys were playing some pubs and whatnot. Was there no scrims or anything between that?
No pubs really either.
Wow. So,
Cause and
going.
effect.
Stuff
Yeah.
out there. I mean, practice makes perfect. But how are you guys feeling about that Launchpad? Because that was like opening out the gate, not playing for 2 weeks as a team, and with how tight that Launchpad was. What was your game plan going into that?
I think we just said. I don't remember who played, but we just told someone to ride the cart, and the rest of us just kind of.
That's
Fair enough.
wild.
But I will say, Oogie Boogie was MVP. You know, he started stuttering and he like cleared cart like 3 times. That was the difference between winning and not.
Yeah, Oogie Boogie was just popping off the whole time.
Yeah, and it's hard to kill him, especially with a questionable connection. But he did.
We've got the captains for UNSC in the chat too. One up for
Yep,
it.
M-Dubs and
Yes.
one up.
Microphone out of your mouth.
Congratulations!
Congrats, though.
Thank you guys.
That
Thank
was-
you.
That was very,
Thanks for the
very well
cast.
done.
Always a pleasure.
The team was amazing. The home team stepped up. I'm so proud of everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And having one up on retainer there, very important. Canyon. What was going on with Taser there when he went down?
He crashed, and then you have to wait until someone gets out, and it's an unfortunate part of league. You still got to be ready, but that 2-minute timer is just killer. Especially at this kind of level, like both teams, 5v4 against Envy is not, or 4v5 against Envy is not, not ideal in any scenario. But yeah, it was good to be able to hop in, and then went right into Volcano from there.
And so, with that being said, I'm going to ask the question I think is on almost everyone's mind. It's certainly something I've been thinking about. What changed for you guys on the Volcano?
Just shifting players around, really. I mean, obviously it wasn't working the first 2 times, so we just kept making changes on the fly, and kept, communication really stepped up to call out your kills, call out where you're heading, call your pickups. It's very important on domination maps like that where it's so spaced out.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's tough out there.
Hey, Volcano, you guys made an insane comeback.
Yeah.
Excellent job. That was insane. I love watching a
Envy.
Volcano. There was so many close, last second
Yes.
encounters. That
Yes.
was so stressful. I love it.
Yeah, no, like everyone on Envy's team is just such a monster. Like it was such a tough fight, and it was just a lot of fun. Like I'm shaking, like my hands are shaking. It's the
I don't blame you.
I can't imagine why.
Gooses were earlier. It's
Oh,
okay.
like I'm old. I might have a heart attack or something. Like I can't do this anymore.
No, you're
But
good.
no, Envy's been a great freaking team to play against. Like they're just, I think we beat them the first cycle or second cycle, then they, beat us later on, and this was kind of that tiebreaker. Almost like a rematch of season 5. Both of us kind of got to that finals, but it was double
You
elimination.
guys never
So it
played
was
a control point all season, though. I went back and looked, and I was so curious to see what would happen. But hey, you guys saved battery life.
Yeah.
Was not
No,
needed.
it was just hounding everyone, like backup batteries, be plugged in. It's just
Yep.
even then when that happens, you can't account for someone dropping. So like
No,
it's
100%.
you can only
I
do
also
so much.
I also saw M-Dubs, you put in the chat on the 3rd map, you also lost game audio?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to dwell on that too, but yeah, I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't hear
Oh my
my
goodness.
teammates. I couldn't hear Dashes, real writing, any of that. But it is what it is.
I've heard
happens
that
in the
happening
game.
a couple times during the season, actually. It happened to our own Sky Snarkles out there. That happened to him, so it's crazy that kind of thing can happen, but I'm glad that
We
you guys
couldn't
pulled
really
through with that.
afford to swap out.
Yeah.
Yeah, swapping out 2 people is even harder, especially with the timing, but
Yeah, I mean, credit to Envy. They played an amazing campaign. They've always been a really dominant team anyway, so it was going to be tough either way, even if we didn't have any drops. But no, I'm just glad we pulled it out at the end.
yeah, absolutely. That was insane. It's been a pleasure being in the booth with Goose. Thanks for coming to visit.
Absolutely. You know,
Yes.
this entire season
for
has
sure.
been amazing, and I'm happy that I got to cast so many matches, and especially this match. Had a little bit of technical difficulties way at the beginning, but we're going to put that out of
I'm
our
sorry,
minds.
there's no dots on the mini map. It's okay, your strats are safe. All Dasher final strats are safe, okay? This was intentional. Shh. We're gonna go with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, oh my gosh, Not Golem, Willow, the goats in the booth,
Absolutely.
kept
Thank you.
the commentary going for all the matches. So I hope both of you, all captains, get a chance to go back and watch any of the maps you haven't gotten to already.
Absolutely. And you know what the best part about this is? This isn't the last Dash League match this weekend.
Oh,
We've
no.
got more
Oh,
Dash
yeah.
League action tomorrow.
Hi.
True.
So that's going to be awesome. So congratulations to UNSC again for taking this win. There you go.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Sorry, GTF.
It's okay.
Do you guys have any last minute comments before we let y'all go?
What are your plans for next season UNSC?
Yeah, do you want to spill some beanage right now?
No, I mean every season, off season is always like there's always transition periods. People, take a break, find something else to do, and we're just kind of gonna go with the flow of the off season and see what happens. Really love our guys. Like I honestly want to give a shout out. I mean, like Crusaders, freaking Goat on Cart and Rockets, and Taser joined back this season, and Taser's been UNSC since season 1, and him to come back is just freaking a phenomenal player. And then we got Sandman in the off season, or formerly Iconic, and dude was just a monster from the start, very committed.
And Rusty.
And Rusty, yeah, Rusty was a mid-season pickup. And he's such a nice dude, such a great dude. Like, he's been such a good influence and just very positive. It's awesome to have him. Like, I know when I messed up in one match. I messed up in a match, like I forgot to counter, and he just like, hey, forget about it, don't worry, you'll get the next one. Like, it was just very positive in the moment. And then we have Dark Ghost, and he's just a G to come back. And Oogie Boogie, man, Oogie's just I love Oogie. And just we picked up Destroyer too, and unfortunately schedules haven't aligned with Destroyer. Like one match or maybe 2 matches, I don't know, but he was, he was the chill dude.
I think
our
team was the only one that even got to play against him. We played him when he was on Phoenix, and then as soon as he joined y'all, we had to play him again.
But yeah, and then Frozen Galaxy is just a solid player too. He's just always been around, and he's a great dude to hang out with in practice and show up when we need him. And then honestly, without M-Dubs, I couldn't do much here. He's a great co-captain, so I just want to give a shout out to him for always picking up the slack when I'm not there or able to. So really proud of our team here.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. Me and 1UP, we've been co-captains for like 4 seasons now at this point, and I can't ask for a better co-captain because we don't actually always agree on everything, but we always got each other's backs and we're always covering for each other when the schedules don't work out for the other person. So I just want to say shout out to 1UP Crit, by far the best captain I could pick to work with, and it's been an amazing run.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's just for the team. Anything for the team, right? Just gotta give it 110%, and just rely on them to do the rest.
What are you guys gonna do on vacation from Dash League?
Yeah.
Like, you guys get a month, maybe a month and a half off before we're back.
Or does training start right now?
Ooh,
are you going back to the UNSC weight room and?
Yeah, what's off season? We'll have a scrim every night, 9:30 p.m. EST. Post lobbies up.
Actually, I have a question for GTF.
Ooh.
I heard rumors that Envy won't be around next season.
Oh.
Well, I definitely won't. But it's everyone else's decision. I still think some people might want to do something, but I know at least for me, I've been over it for a while now.
Is that why you left the last lobby so fast?
Oh yeah.
Well,
I was a little pissy.
Give him a break.
Well, maybe he left it so that he could get in here and talk to us.
If you saw when I was going through the volcano, I literally got to be forward like 1,000 times on screaming for help.
We've all seen it.
Oh well.
There. It's relatable. It's okay. I heard Goose screaming in my living room earlier during the Sky match.
I just want to say, if that's true, and these no more, I mean, that's a loss for Lee. You guys have been, a contender for many seasons, even won a championship. So I hope, that you guys could stay, but you guys had an amazing run. If in fact it's over, but it's always been tough playing you guys through the seasons. So I'm just glad we're able to get this one today, and really proud of the guys on UNSC.
Well said.
Yeah. So after all,
and
There you go.
Yeah,
love it.
my last act of captain is bringing Jonte onto the team and making him captain.
there you go.
It's posted. All right,
thought it
bye.
was gonna
I'm
be
going to
APOD.
school.
See you, GTF.
Have a good one, GTF.
All right.
See you, Captain.
Well, after all is said and done, congratulations to UNSC again.
Confetti gift.
Oh yes, we do
We
have.
made something special.
Yes, there is our confetti gift. So congratulations to UNSC again for taking this Dasher Finals.
I asked
And
for this.
congratulations to Envy for putting up such a good fight for them. But with that, do you guys have any last minute comments before we let everybody go?
Recommendations for new players joining League next season?
Shout out to UNSC
Shout out.
and the
There you
co-captain,
go.
One Up Crit. Just wanted to get that in.
Gollum, Willow?
Shout out to all you casters and commentators.
Absolutely.
Just phenomenal job.
Absolutely.
We couldn't do this without you all.
Yeah,
You know, Goose making so many animations and
Thank you.
images.
Yes.
It's just like crazy. You and Jada commentating, and just everyone commentating. Willow knocked on them. Man.
And like Dashhole picked up a bunch of matches.
Oh,
like
Firehorse
Yeah,
is still
absolutely.
casting 12 a.m. versus Iron right now for Sprinter Finals. If you guys haven't already watched that, please make sure to check out that stream. It should still be live,
yeah, absolutely.
depending on what map they're
Yeah,
on.
it is still live.
Awesome.
Okay,
I think
cool.
so.
No idea. You gotta hop on over,
Yeah.
check it
Yeah,
out.
go find out.
That's how
Yeah.
we get you.
Make sure you guys hit the like on that stream as well. We want to show our appreciation for all players.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well,
Definitely. Thanks so much for casting, Goose.
Yeah,
You
thank
killed
you.
it. I thought it was a great cast.
Thank you. Yeah, it was
you've
great.
been casting so good this season.
thank you.
If anybody's interested in becoming a caster, you can always reach out to me, Willow, or Lateralis. More casters is always good. We've gotten a lot of feedback from the entire VR community, and I can say, like, from personal experience, I'm in VRML, I've been in VREL, all of those ones. Dash League by far has the most casting of any of these VR. I mean, seriously, like these other top games, they're casting like 1 or 2 games, maybe a week at most.
Yeah.
And here on Dash League, it's like every weekend. It's
Yeah.
like, we got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we got 4,
Action-packed.
and a lot of it is because of these monsters like Goose and Dashhole and such that are just casting so many games.
I got tired last
and,
season.
I think there was literally
Yeah.
only 2
Yeah.
matches this entire season that
Yes.
didn't go casted. So like that's an
It's crazy.
amazing.
I think last season we only had like 1
Yeah.
that went uncasted.
Yeah. So it's
Because
just
last season was insane. Like,
Yeah.
I casted 42 games last season, so I tried to slow down
crazy.
a little bit this season.
Yeah.
And thankfully, we had
Yeah.
Goose, we had Dashhole, we have new casters like Raider Gator.
yeah.
has
Yes.
been-
Shout out to
yeah.
our new casters too. That's
Like,
awesome.
also, if you haven't already, the 3v3 All Stars was today, which Raider casted, so make sure you guys check that out. That's also in the Dash League Discord. So,
But
Yeah.
a lot of action. And tomorrow, we have 2 other matches.
yeah, let's go ahead and tell those really quick before we let everybody go. We've got Control versus Life. That's happening
There we go.
at 7 p.m. EST. And then we've got Ajax versus Jester
Yep.
happening at 8 p.m. EST.
And Ajax versus Jester is Sprinter Bronze.
Yes.
And Dasher Bronze is the Control versus Life. And that should be the last 2 matches of the season.
Where did it go? It seems like just yesterday we started.
Come a long way.
Absolutely. All right. Well, with that, I hope everybody out there has a good morning, a good afternoon, a good night, whatever time it is, where you are. It's Dash League time, baby, and we are so glad that you joined us today. Have a great afternoon, great evening, great night.
Bye.
We'll see you guys
Bye, everybody.
later. Bye now.
Bye.
Dash League.
Dash League.